To New York Yankee baseball on 1460 WOKO Albany.
Al Bumbry is set to lead off against Catfish Hunter, and set with the play-by-play, ladies and gentlemen, here is Phil Rizzuto.
All right, Frank, thank you. And Bumbry is a good leadoff man, though I notice he's struck out 10 times already in this young season, coming about 36 times. And I remember the last time the Yankees played the Orioles in spring training. He got a little upset with Cliff Johnson, who was messing around with Bumbry just a little bit. Left-hand hitter with a lot of speed. And here's the first pitch of the ball game. It's down low, ball one. We're underway. As Frank Messer tells us who the coaches are, he's old Eagle Eye.
Cal Ripken's down at third, Jim Fry at first.
All right, Frank. And that pitch hangs outside. It's 2-0. Bumbry steps back.
We might mention, Phil, the breeze is blowing toward left field for whatever that is worth.
All right, that's down low, ball three. Now, Hunter very seldom walks anybody. But when you get in that home run groove throwing balls, you try to be a little extra careful, and maybe that's what Catfish is doing. A 3-0 pitch. Ball four on 4 straight pitches. Bumbry walks. Bumbry has 1 stolen base this year. And the batter will be Billy Smith. Now, last year, if I remember rightly, Frank, this guy got off to a whale of a start.
Yes, he did. He beat Rich Dollar out at second base last year with a very fine start. In fact, if I recall, he was still hitting .400 up in late May.
Right. All right, Smith steps in against Hunter. Bumbry leads away, and the pitch is taken on the corner. Strike one call. I don't know whether we gave the umpires. Did you, Frank?
No, I didn't. Joe Bregman is on balls and strikes. Dale Ford at first. Ted Hendry at second. And Russ Getz is at third.
All right, the stretch by Cat. And the pitch. He bunts, and Nettles got to get it on one hop. Goes to second. Safe at second base. The ball took a high hop to Nettles. He tried to get it on a fly. When he realized he couldn't, he backed up, and the ball skidded off the wet grass up high. And Bumbry, with that great speed, beat the throw in a second, and it's got to be a sacrifice and a fielder's choice.
That's it. He will not be charged with a time at bat. And the fielder's choice is, of course, in Nettles trying for the lead runner and not getting him.
All right, that's a big break for the Birds early here in the ball game. Smith did not bunt that ball well, but it turned out all right. And the batter now, Ken Singleton, batting .318. Runners lead off first and second. The pitch down low, ball one. And on deck, Eddie Murray. Singleton batting left-handed against Catfish. Change up just outside, 2-0.
Normally, Catfish in his warm-up throws, Scooter, before the game works on his control primarily.
Yeah, I still say there's a big difference pitching out in the bullpen and on this mound. Base hit up the middle. And it's going to be a run scored, but holding at second base is Billy Smith. So Singleton with an RBI single, and the Birds are out on top, 1-0. So the first 3 men have gotten on. And they got that big break on that bunt. Normally Nettles comes up with that ball and throws the runner out. Eddie Murray, batting .250 on the year. Right-handed, he's batting .429. Left-handed, 111. Still nobody out. And the pitch to Murray has popped up, but I believe it'll come back in the seats. Munson coming back. He cannot reach it. It lands on the screen and out of play.
And early activity in the Yankee bullpen. Right-hander Ken Clay has started to warm up. You know, Phil, the Orioles started the season with 5 straight losses. They did turn things around somewhat over the past weekend. They beat Milwaukee 3 out of 4. That's the worst start the Orioles have had since 1955, when they dropped 6 in a row at the beginning of the season.
All right. The pitch is lined. One hop to Chambliss. He goes to dead one. Back to first. And Hunter missed the bag on the throwback. Cat did not get there in time. They get the force at second base on a one-hop bullet to Chambliss. So they get the fourth play. Runners are at first and third with one out, and Baltimore out in front, 1-0.
Chambliss did a good job on that, too. He came up with a shot, which you expect him to do, but then he had to throw over the runner going into second base. Kenny Singleton made a good throw and did not hit the runner going in.
That is a tough play. Chris has hit one man so far.
There's only one out.
All right, the batter now, Lee May, who's on a homer barrage right now, takes a pitch down and in, ball one. May batting .314. 2 homers and 8 runs batted in.
He had both home runs in the first game of yesterday's doubleheader, and then he had a 7-game hitting streak ended in the second game.
All right. Runners lead away. The pitch, swing and a miss, 1-1. This would be a big lift for the Yankees if they can get out of this inning with just 1 run being scored. Billy Smith at third. Eddie Murray at first. On it to the belt. And the pitch high and tight, and Lee May really has to bail out of that. On deck, Larry Harlow. Outfield really deep on Lee May. Catfish sets. And the pitch is popped up. Big break for the Yankees. Nettles coming on. In fair territory. Graig makes the catch, and there are 2 away. So they get the dangerous Lee May with runners at first and third. Now there are 2 out, and the batter, Larry Harlow. Harlow, as Frank told you, red hot, batting .409. 2 doubles, 2 homers, and 3 runs batted in. He has 9 hits and 4 of them extra bases. Harlow, a left-hand batter all the way. On deck, Doug DeCinces. Chambliss holding the bag against Eddie Murray. Billy Smith leads off third. Hunter kicks, delivers low, nice scoop, knocked down by Munson. Throw to first, and they almost got him. Eddie Murray had started for second. Munson, like a cat, jumped on the throw to Chambliss. Murray jumped back, did not slide, but just did beat the tag. He was undecided as to whether to go. And it turned out he made the smart play coming back to first.
You know, you mentioned this Harlow having a hot bat. He hit his first Major League home run in the first game of yesterday's doubleheader. He liked it so much, he hit another one in the second game.
All right, on the outside corner, it's 1-1. It does get contagious after a while.
He's hit in every game he's played so far.
All right, tall, lean, left-hand hitter. Open stance. Hunter's pitch, low, 2 balls and a strike.
So when you have an open stance like that, a hitter with an open stance, wouldn't he have trouble reaching that pitch outside?
Not really, Frank. You see the ball a lot better. And you can't flip the bat and hit to the opposite field. That's on the outside corner, 2-2. Started to say it was outside, but it nicked the corner. When I first came up, I batted with an open stance, Frank, and a lot easier to see the pitch. Of course, you can't be, trying to pull everything, as you mentioned.
Right, you wouldn't be able to pull that pitch. Just slap it, huh?
Only if they get it way inside. The pitch, line to right field and curving foul. Holy cow. That couldn't have been fouled by more than a couple of inches, deep in the right field corner.
I'll tell you, it was so close. Reggie wasn't sure it was foul. He fielded the ball and was getting ready to throw it back in when he saw the umpire's sign. The ball disappears from our vantage point when it goes down into either corner here at the stadium. We might explain that.
I'm glad you did. People think we're not paying attention.
You just have to watch the umpires. And there, Dale Ford gave a quick call, immediate call on it.
All right, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 men on. Hunter kicks. Delivers just outside 3-2. So Eddie Murray will be off and running. Hunter got to keep that ball down. The pitch. He gets it down and strikes him out. All right, Frank is right. 1 run on 1 base hit. No errors and 2 men left. And at the end of 1/2 inning, the Orioles won and the Yankees coming to bat.
Sparky Lyle saves another one for the Yankees. Cliff Johnson's home run wins it in the ninth. Paul Blair makes another great catch in center field. Sparky Lyle, Cliff Johnson, and Paul Blair. Great subs on the world champion New York Yankees. In the Capital District, the great subs come from Big Dom Subs at prices that will make you feel like a champion. Listen to this lineup. Big Dom's hot Italian sausage, pepperoni, or the only long, hot meatball sub in town. All in all, Big Dom's has over 30 varieties of hot and cold subs. Big Dom's veal and peppers is a grand slam of a meal. It comes complete with Big Dom's own special wine sauce. Big Dom's is not only in first place, he's every place, with 8 convenient locations in Albany, Latham, Rotterdam, Troy, Westmere, and Menands. So when it comes to subs, the Yankees have Lyle, Johnson, Blair, and you've got Big Dom's. Step up to Big Dom's. You'll never strike out.
Do you regret having left high school without a diploma? Now you can earn a high school diploma by demonstrating skills you have learned at work, at home, and through daily living. This is the New York State External High School Diploma Program, and it's free. Call us. Collect 274-8220. This is Audrey Catterson for Rensselaer, Columbia, and Greene Counties BOCES on WOKO, the station that cares about you.
Just 1 week from Thursday, the Yankees and the Mets renew their annual rivalry in the 16th Mayor's Trophy game here at Yankee Stadium. Proceeds from the game benefit Sandlot Baseball in the metropolitan area. You can get your tickets now at any Yankee or Mets ticket outlet. So come on out to the stadium and see the Yankees take on the Mets Thursday, April 27th at 8 o'clock. It'll be a fun evening for everybody, and the proceeds go to benefit Sandlot Baseball.
All right, Frank. Willie Randolph facing the left-hander Mike Flanagan. Willie batting .323, and the first pitch inside, ball one. Outfield straight away on Willie. And the curve is over 1-1. Willie thought that pitch might be a little low. Flanagan has won none, lost 2 so far this year. Very high earned run average, and he had an excellent spring. The kick and the curve, he bunts, but right back to the box. Flanagan up, wheels, throws to first, 1 out. Any place but right where he bunted, and Willie would have had a base hit. He had a nice slow curve to bunt. 1 man out, and now Mickey Rivers. Mick batting .333, 9 base hits, 1 homer. That and inside the park job that won the game for the Yankees against the White Sox. He has 4 runs batted in.
You know, this Flanagan, Phil, starting out this year like he started out last year. He won only 2 out of his first 10 decisions last year. And then he won 13 of his last 15.
Oh, boy. Swing and a miss by Mickey as he was going for the seats. I remember that. He really had a hot second half.
He wound up 15-10 overall.
All right, DeCinces way in at third. Mickey in a severe crouching style right now. And he swings and misses, strike 2, flips the bat around. Rivers really changes his stance. The 2-strike pitch, a curve swing and a foul tip. He gets a life as the ball popped out of the glove of Rick Dempsey. Good curveball by Flanagan, had Mickey reaching.
I think he was looking for a fastball at that one.
Yep, he was way out ahead of the pitch. Flanagan winds again. And a slider a little bit down low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Thurman Munson on deck. Yankees trailing 1-0 in the bottom of the first inning on a misty evening in the Bronx. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Low in the dirt, 2-2.
Another young man, Mike Flanagan, is a native of Manchester, New Hampshire. He still lives there, and I believe our Yankee games are heard up in that area.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. I know in Rutland and Burlington, Vermont, they're heard. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Rivers goes down swinging. And there are 2 away in the bat of Thurman Munson.
I think our friends up in Manchester hear our games on WHWB out of Rutland, Vermont.
All right. That's right near where my daughter lives. Manchester, Vermont. A lot of people get those two Manchesters mixed up. All right, Thurman Munson. Thurman batting .276. And the pitch to Munson hits the outside corner strike call. Reggie Jackson on deck.
A few years ago, I had the pleasure of being master of ceremonies for that great baseball banquet they give up in Manchester, New Hampshire.
I went there once, not as MC, but as a guest. Now one hopper back to Flanagan. Wheels throws to first, and the Yankees are retired in order, nothing across. At the end of one full inning, Baltimore 1 and the Yankees nothing.
When you say, Budweiser, whenever the moment is right for a great beer. When you say, Budweiser, whenever the good times are moving to right here. After the work is done, while you're still having fun, anytime's the right time to say it. When do you say, Budweiser, but a beer for any time at all. When you say, Budweiser, the number one beer is what you'll be drinking. After the work is done, while you're still having fun, the king of beer is waiting for your call. When you say Budweiser, you said it all.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Hey, Frank, take over the game, will you? I gotta go someplace. You mean you can't wait? Oh, no. I just gotta have a Baby Ruth bar. And when you gotta have one, you gotta have one.
Yeah, throw up at the game. It's so good.
Well, so's a Baby Ruth bar. A sweet chocolatey coating over chewy caramel, fudge, and peanuts. Just terrific.
I know. But can't you wait till after the game?
Nope.
Well, okay. Hey, Phil, get me one, too. Baby Ruth. When you gotta have one, you gotta have one. Well, we told you there was a little bit of a brouhaha after that Detroit ball game this afternoon, Phil. I understand that Mark Fidrich, when charging into manager Ralph Houck's office after the ball game, asked the reporters to leave. He wanted a private talk with the major. Houck took him out after 4 innings, and there was some claim that Fidrich's shoulder had tightened up on him. But evidently Fidrich was a bit upset about it. He'd only thrown 40 pitches in 4 innings and allowed 2 runs in the ball game.
Yeah, well, Fidrich now is getting used to pitching those complete games, and he's the king of the hill over there, and things change as soon as they start paying a lot of attention to you. All right, here's Doug DeCinces, who takes a slider high and away, ball 1.
We might mention again, Detroit did win the ball game. John Hiller got the win. It was 10-9, a final. Tigers got 4 in the ninth to win it.
Wild ball game. DeCinces batting .313. No homers and no RBIs, and that high and tight, and DeCinces' helmet comes off. Wasn't that close to him. It looked like he was trying to step in, looking for a pitch away. 2 balls, no strikes. One nothing, Baltimore leading here in the top of the second. Check swing, ground ball, Catfish off the mound, bare hands, it flutters the first. They got him. I tell you, that ball is doing tricks out there coming off that wet grass, Frank.
Well, it really is. I don't know what the weather was here this afternoon. We did mention the rain for a while before the ball game, but the first time I saw the field, the tarpaulin was down. But the ball is twisting, taking some very strange hops down there.
All right, here's Rick Dempsey. Dempsey batting .280. No homers, 4 runs batted in. Right down the end of the batter, right-hand batter. Lines up, base hit to left field. He reached out for that slider and drilled it to left field. And again, that first hop off that wet grass, the ball really skids. Here's Mark Belanger. Now, this is when Belanger is tough, when he's not swinging away, either up there to bunt or hit and run. Frank told you he's batting just .192, 5 hits, no extra base hits, and no runs batted in. The pitch to Belanger is down low, ball 1.
Let me ask you something, Scooter. Look out there, Pinella. Look at the pants. He's got his pants down as low as he can pull them, trying to keep the legs warm, I guess. But that brings up something else. I want to ask you about a piece of equipment in a minute.
All right. Inside, 2-0.
Before the ball game, I was down in the Yankee clubhouse, and Lou Piniella was putting on a brand new pair of baseball spikes. Now, is this good weather to break shoes?
Oh, no.
Wet?
No way. I think he just used them maybe to run a little bit.
That might have been.
High ball, 3-0. Only one out. Yeah, you put the new ones on, use them to work out, run in the outfield, batting practice. Then you put the old comfortable ones on for the game. 3-0 to Belanger. And there's strike one, 3-1. Catfish walked the leadoff man, Bumbry, and it cost him. He came around to score. Dempsey leading away. He doesn't go, and the ball is high. Ball 4. Oh, Cat has issued his second walk of the ball game. And it brings up Al Bumbry, who walked leading off this ball game.
Billy Martin's very upset. He is screaming out toward home plate, and he's not talking to Thurman Munson.
All right, Bumbry finally gets set in the batter's box. Runners lead off first and second with one out. High and outside, ball 1. Billy Smith on deck. Nettles even with the bag at third. Catfish kicks. Delivers foul just to our left and out of play. 1-1. Cat sets again. The runners lead away. The pitch is lined to left field, but curving foul and back into the seats out of play. Bumbry just flicked his wrist at that pitch away. Got good wood on it, but curved foul back into the seats.
Then Kenny Clay gets up in the Yankee bullpen. He warmed up in the first inning, and he started to warm up again.
All right, Catfish has had men on in each of these first 2 innings. He gets the sign from Munson. A ball and 2 strikes on Al Bumbry with 1 out. And a pitch foul in the upper deck. Down the left field line. Count holds 1 ball, 2 strikes. Belanger off first, Dempsey off second. And the pitch by Catfish way outside. It's 2-2. Looks like Catfish is throwing a lot of pitches that sliders or sinkers. Doesn't want to throw that fastball. He checks Dempsey. And the pitch. Check swing. Munson knocks it down, picks it up. Again, quick reflexes by Munson, holds the runners on. And it's 3-2. That was a breaking ball in the dirt. Well, the Yankees got out of that first inning with just 1 run being scored. Ready for the payoff pitch. And the runner's time is called. I tell you, that could have hurt Catfish's arm. Bumbry, a delayed call. Munson talking to him. Martin's coming out. I don't blame him. Bumbry waited until Hunter had wheeled and was starting to throw the ball to the plate. It's very unusual for an umpire to allow the batter time out at that instant. If he gives him time as the pitch is coming set, then it's a different story. But Catfish had already wheeled around and was starting to deliver, and it's very easy for a pitcher to hurt his arm when he's got to stop the forward motion all at once. So Martin gives Brinkman a piece of his mind. And now Billy goes out to talk with Catfish. Nettles and Munson join in on the huddle. Rick Dempsey, meanwhile, came in to clean his spiked shoes. Gets a tongue depressor from the trainer, Ralph Salvan. And Billy turns around and comes back to the dugout. Got to get a few words in with Joe Brinkman on the way in. All right, a full count. 1 out. Baltimore leads 1-0. Runners at first and second for Baltimore. Hunter sets. Randolph breaks over to second. Now goes back. The pitch. Bouncing ball to the pitcher. Hunter's got to go himself. Good heads-up play by Catfish. Chambliss had broken for the ball. Hunter went to his left, grabbed it, saw that Chambliss was not there, just kept running, and beat Bumbry to first. The other runners advanced.
Tell you one thing, there was no hesitation on Hunter's part there. A lot of pitchers would look up and they'd be so surprised to see nobody there, they'd eat the ball, but Cat didn't even break stride going over to first base.
No, you're right, Frank. That's one thing that's helped Hunter. Besides his great control is his fielding ability. Whitey Ford was like that. All those pitchers that could field really helped themselves. Billy Smith, sacrificed first time up, takes the strike on the outside corner.
And before the days of the designated hitter, Catfish, again like Ford, could swing a bat in his own behalf when he hit.
Pretty good hitter. Just the man Hunter wants. The pitch foul, and it's strike 2. Ball went in the mezzanine over the auxiliary scoreboard because on deck is Ken Singleton. I think he had a picnic against Yankee pitching last year, too.
Against everybody's pitching.
Yeah, that's true. He had a great year. All right, the 2-strike pitch. Just missed the outside corner. Listen to the crowd groan. Very close pitch to be taking in a spot like that. Cat with the full windup. His pitch, ground ball to second base. Randolph up, over to Chambliss, and they get out of another tough jam. No runs, a hit, no errors, 2 men left at the end of an inning and a half. Orioles 1 and the Yankees nothing.
Rise above the crowd and be more than just another cheering fan. Be an expert. You can be totally informed on the world of sports when you read the sports pages of the Times-Union and the Knickerbocker News. We bring you complete coverage of Major League Baseball with special emphasis on the Yankees, Mets, and the Red Sox. We also keep a watchful eye on the local high school and college scene. Our reporters specialize in news of your favorite sports. Nationally syndicated columnists like Mickey Charles, Dick Young, and Jimmy Rodriguez add another dimension of expertise. You'll get analysis, projections, personalities, predictions, scores, and statistics. Everything you need to rise above the crowd. Be an expert with the sports pages of the Times-Union and the Knickerbocker News. For home delivery, call 454-5454.
This is Steve Allen.
And Jane Meadows.
Bell system long distance.
And something to do about those letters you've been too busy to answer.
Recycle them?
Oh, no. Answer them with a long-distance call.
I've got it. Stack up your letters by the telephone and answer by long distance.
Long distance is a nice way to return a letter and always appreciated.
And you don't have to worry if they can't read your handwriting. Feelings, whoa, feelings.
Well, it's been a little bit of a struggle for our Catfish in the first 2 innings. The Orioles only have 1 run, though, and here come the Yankees, Scooter.
All right, Reggie Jackson, a curve, bounces in front of home plate, comes up and hits Dempsey. It's ball 1 to Reggie Jackson. And right now, 5 seconds for station identification.
You're listening to New York Yankee Baseball on 1460 WOKO Albany.
All right, Reggie, who has had 1 base hit in his last 16 at-bats, batting .219. All the way back to the screen. 2 balls, no strike. So the first 2 pitches didn't come close to a strike. Flanagan retired the first 3 Yankees. 2 of them on comebackers to the mound. One a bunt by Randolph, another a ground out by Munson. Swing and a miss, 2-1.
I think Reggie made up his mind to swing at that pitch. After the last one went to the backstop, he figured 2 balls and no strikes. He's going to take a rip somewhere.
It was a good guess. The 2-1 pitch, strike 2 call. That was a good slider. Late breaking and very sharp. 2-2. Flanagan feet together. Now he rocks back. And the pitch is foul just to our left and out of play. Phillies lead the Pirates 3-0 in the third. And it looks like they're getting that game underway in St. Louis, where it was raining, the Mets and the Cardinals. Again, the 2-2 pitch. Line to center field, a base hit. Jackson really hit a bullet. A long single. The first Yankee hit of the ball game. And the noise for Lou Piniella. All right, Lou Piniella batting .333. Has one triple and 2 runs batted in. All right, Flanagan taking a little extra time now as Eddie Murray holds Jackson close to first. Baltimore in front, 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. On deck, Chris Chambliss. Flanagan down to the belt. Low, ball 1.
Scooter, over in Cleveland, Ron Pruitt has hit a 3-run homer in the 6th inning to highlight a 6-run inning for the Indians. They now lead Texas 6-0 at the end of 6.
Wow.
Hit it off Matlack.
Ooh. All right, Flanagan with a long look in for the sign. He sets. And it's low inside, ball 2. And now Dempsey's coming out to talk to Flanagan. Flanagan has changed his pitching style in this inning.
Well, you get the side out in order without a ball out of the infield in the first inning. Why change?
Yeah, that's true. Taking a lot more time now. Seems to be messing up his rhythm. Sure the Yankees don't mind that. Oh, let's see if Piniella tries to jump on this one. He's ahead on the count 2-0. Throw to first base, Reggie back. Flanagan with an excellent move over there. I'd say it's as close to a balk move as you can get. Flanagan sets. And a pitch is a strike call, and I don't believe it. Neither does Lou. He jumps out of the box. The pitch looked high and outside. Look at Piniella really telling Brinkman. And Dempsey now is calling time. Something happened to his glove. He wants another glove. Well, it's been that kind of a night with the rain and everything. Tempers are short. Got some short announcers and tall ones. Frank Metz is going to have a message for you in just a moment. But Dempsey's got a new glove. Whenever Piniella gets mad, he usually gets a base hit. Let's see if it happens. Here's the stretch. And the pitch, a curved swing and a miss, strike 2. Beautiful slow curve. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Orioles in front, 1-0. They scored in the first inning. Jackson leads away. And a bounce to the third base foul. Grabbed by DeCinces. He jammed Piniella with that fastball. Lou hit it off the hands.
Well, Scooter, instead of a message right now, just a quick reminder. I'll save the message for later.
All right.
Tomorrow, the Yankees and the Orioles go at it at 2 o'clock, and tomorrow will be Senior Citizens Day here at Yankee Stadium in honor of Labe Freeman.
All right, Labe and I get in for 50 cents,
That's
right?
right. All fans 60 years of age and over will be admitted to outfield box seats for the 50-cent service charge. So now you can take it from there. I don't know anything about ages. I don't even know my own.
I get in for 50 cents. That's all I know. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Throw to first, and Jackson is back. Gene Michael coaching at first. Dick Hauser at third. Flanagan stretches. And the pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Base hit. You got to get that Piniella mad. I tell you. Up with it is Larry Harlow, and the Yankees have runners at first and second. I don't know whether he used an 8-iron or a 9-iron, Frank. He golfed that right off the ground.
Yes, he did. That pitch was down just above his ankles. He had a nice short swing and just golfed it, as you said, right back up the middle. That's going to bring Earl Weaver out to talk to Flanagan. Now, you mentioned, Phil, that Flanagan had changed his pitching style.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Mr. Weaver may have noticed that, or perhaps his pitching coach, Ray Miller, and he's gone out there to talk. Meanwhile, we'll look at the scoreboard in the National League, where the Cincinnati Reds are creating a little havoc out in Dodger Town. Cincinnati got 2 in the first, 4 more in the third, and the Reds lead the Dodgers 6-0 at the end of 2.5. They knocked Rao out in the third inning. Charlie Huff is now pitching. Bottom all the way for Cincinnati. Phillies lead the Pirates 3-0 at the end of 2.5. Lonborg and Candelaria, the pitchers in that ballgame.
All right, Frank, and now Chris Chambliss with runners at first and second, nobody out. Chris hitting .276, no extra base hits, 3 runs batted in. Cliff Johnson on deck. The pitch to Chambliss, outside, ball 1. Piniella with a good lead off first. Jackson down at second, leading away. Baltimore in front, 1-0. Yankees threatening here in the bottom of the second. Flanagan to the belt. Curve down low, blocked by Dempsey. It's 2-0. Flanagan rubbing up the ball. Looks in for the sign. Now he's set. And the pitch down low, ball 3-0. You can never tell with Billy Martin, but I do believe that Chambliss will take at least one pitch. Here's the stretch. And the pitch. He takes it, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Flanagan's first walk, DeCinces comes over now to talk with him. But something is bothering that young man, Frank. Now he wants one of those tongue depressors to get the mud out of his spiked shoes, but that's not what's bothering him. Must have been that base hit of Jackson.
It could have been. Jackson hit that ball a ton. I just don't know. Now DeCinces is calling for the bat boy to come out. Looks like the Orioles have some activity out in their bullpen, and it appears to be right-hander Tim Stoddard. Double check out there. That's who it is. 6'7", 250-pound Jim Stoddard.
That's 6'7"?
6'7", that's what they say.
Could have spread some of those inches over here, you know. 6'7". All right, Cliff Johnson, the batter. Johnson's only 6'4". And the pitch to Big Cliff, swing and a miss, strike 1. Bases loaded for the Yankees, nobody out. They are trailing 1-0. And on deck, Graig Nettles. Flanagan's curve outside, 1-1. He is pitching from a stretch position, even though the bases are loaded, and he could wind up. Sets the left foot on the rubber, looks for the sign. Jackson, Piniella, and Chambliss lead away. Slow curve, ground ball to third. DeCinces goes to second, 1 back to first, double play, but a run scores, and we're all tied up. Good play by DeCinces, no RBI. Around the horn, 5-4-3. Jackson scores, and we're all tied. 1-1. At third base is Lou Piniella. And the batter now, Graig Nettles. Nettles batting .231. A double, a homer, and 2 runs batted in. Flanagan now will take the full windup with a runner at third and 2 out. And the pitch to Nettles, line to right center field, but right there is Harlow and makes the catch, a sinking line drive. Looked like it might carry, but then started to sink. The Yankees pick up a run on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. And at the end of 2, it's Baltimore 1 and the Yankees 1.
Well, I remember way back in '52, and those magic moments Road with Mary Lou, hanging out at the drive-in in my 57 Ford V8.
Hey, Rocky, I bet my Ford's better than your Ford. Oh, yeah? What do you got in that thing? Yeah, well, I got a new set of Champion Plus. Oh, well. Hey, listen, man, I just remembered I got to get my ducktail trimmed, right? Hey, Rocky, I bet my Pinto gets better mileage than your Pinto. Yeah? Tell me, what do you got in that thing? Yeah, well, I got a new set of Champion Plus. Oh, wow. Hey, I got a split. I just remembered I got to get a hair transplant, right? Hey, time's changed. Buy a better foot for any kind of car than Champion. You can't buy a better foot no matter where you are than Champion. Champion #1 in the world. #1 in your car.
Well, looking at the scoreboard, Cleveland leading Texas now 6-0. Cleveland is batting in the 7th inning. Ferguson Jenkins has relieved John Matlack for the Rangers. Rick Waits has gone all the way for Cleveland. California and Seattle a later start. Updating incomplete games in the National League. Phillies 3, the Pirates nothing in the bottom half of the 3rd. Jim Lonborg pitching against John Candelaria. And Cincinnati 6, the Dodgers nothing in the bottom half of the 3rd at Los Angeles. No report yet on the Mets and the Cards. They were delayed by rain, but should be underway now or shortly. Earlier, San Francisco defeated Atlanta 5-1. American League Finals, Boston 9, Milwaukee 2. Detroit 10, Chicago 9. Oakland 7, Minnesota 2. Kansas City 3, and Toronto 1.
All right, Frank, it's all yours with this tie ball game.
All right, Scooter, we go to the 3rd inning here at Yankee Stadium. Each team has a run. Each team has 2 hits. Ken Singleton leads off for the Orioles. Switch hitter batting left, takes low and outside, ball 1. Kenny was born here in New York, now makes his home in Montreal, Canada. Switch hitter, deep in the box, takes outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Cat has not had his good control in the ball game tonight. He has walked 2 men and been behind on nearly every hitter. 2-0 pitch. High, it's ball 3.
Munson is motioning for Catfish to come a little more overhand.
3-0 deal. Walked him on 4 pitches. It was outside. The 3rd walk given up by Hunter. In the 1st inning, he walked Bumbry. Billy Smith sacrificed. Nettles made the throw to second base trying to get Bumbry. He was late with the throw. They had 2 on. Singleton drilled a base hit to center to drive in the run, and then Cat got out of the inning. He let 2 men reach in the 2nd but got out. And now the leadoff man is on here in the 3rd, and Eddie Murray steps in, another switch hitter batting left. In a deep crouch, closed stance, and he swings and misses strike 1. Murray grounded into a 3-6 force play in the 1st inning. A ground ball to Chambliss, who threw to Dent to force Singleton. Hunter at the belt, offers changeup is line to right field. That'll be in for a base hit. Singleton will go to 3rd. Jackson's throw will go to 2nd, and the Orioles have runners on the corners. So the Birds are threatening. That is their 3rd hit. And it brings up the designated hitter, Lee May. Cat got May on a pop-up to Graig Nettles, his first time at bat. He hits one deep toward left center field. Piniella is after it, makes the catch. Singleton is tagged up. He will score as Pinella's throw comes into second base, and the Orioles lead 2-1. A sacrifice fly, a run batted in for Lee May, and now 20 seconds for our local stations to identify themselves.
A Cohoes man is pled guilty to a charge of manslaughter. A gas explosion renders moderate damage to a General Electric building. There's a primary challenge to State Senator Joe Bruno of Troy. And Senate Majority Leader Robert Burns says a compromise has been found that can protect both American and Panamanian rights. This is Rick Christo. I'll have details on the news after the game at 1460 WOKO. Albany.
Cat's first pitch is in for a strike. Harlow, a left-hand hitter, struck out to end the 1st inning. The Orioles lead by a score of 2-1. 1 out, runner at first, and the pitch is wide. Graig Nettles plays wide of the line at the edge of the grass at third. Dent and Randolph clog up the middle in double play depth, and the outfield is spread out with Piniella fairly shallow in left. Now the 1-1 pitch. Low. During the station identification break, Phil and I were talking about the fact that the ball just doesn't seem to be carrying too well tonight.
That's good. I mean, it's good for Catfish.
Here's 2-1 pitch to Harlow. Strike call. He's got a breaking ball over, and the count evens up 2-2. Harlow steps away from the plate to think things over. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Ball 3 is high. For the third time in as many innings, Ken Clay has started to warm up in the Yankee bullpen. We'll see if they run Murray with one out. He's going. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Munson throw to second. He's out. Bucky Dent cuts the throw on a short hop and tags Murray out to complete the double play. The Orioles get 1 run on 1 hit. No errors, none left. At the end of 2.5, it's Baltimore 2 and New York 1.
Did you ever watch people ordering hamburgers when they had a complete choice of toppings? Well, let someone order mustard relish and onions, and the next person looks at him like he's crazy and then orders
With ketchup, mayo, and pickles.
and the next person shakes his head and orders,
With cheese, lettuce, and tomato.
and on it goes. At Wendy's, each and every hamburger is custom made with your choice of toppings.
With ketchup, onions, mustard, pickles, mayo, relish, lettuce, tomato, and cheese?
We take the great hamburger toppings and fix them in 256 different combinations, including your favorite. And we don't skimp on the portions either.
With lots and lots of ketchup, please.
We fix the toppings 256 ways. But at Wendy's old-fashioned hamburgers, we fix the meat only one way. Hot and juicy.
Wendy's, 1335 Central Avenue, just east of Colony Center, 741 New Rotten Road, just south of the Circle, and 3 Clifton Country Road, opposite the entrance to Clifton Country Mall.
I guess I'm lucky. My family's always been healthy. Oh, a touch of constipation now and then, but we've got X-Lax for that.
Today, more American families trust X-Lax than any other brand. Only a laxative, you can count on X-Lax for relief in the morning. For occasional use, always directed.
Why X-Lax? My family trusts it. That's why.
Now, for itching, Bicozine brings you a powerful anti-itch drug without a doctor's prescription. Use only as directed. For itching skin tissues, get Bicozine cream.
Yeah. All right. Orioles leading 2-1 as we go into the bottom of the third inning. And Bucky Dent, who made that fine tag on Larry Murray to end the inning, will lead it off, Frank.
Okay, Scooter, and Dent did make a good play. That ball came to him on a short hop, and he had to take the ball on the hop and still make the tag. Dent, right-hand batter. He's hitting .280. The third baseman, DeCinces, plays him in even with the bag and fairly tight to the line. The shortstop, Belanger, over in the hole. The outfield bunches, and the ball is hit in the air to shallow left. Bumbry coming. Belanger back. Bumbry calls, and the left fielder makes the catch. Pretty good speed in this Oriole outfield with Bumbry and Harlow out there.
Yep.
One down on the top of the batting order, Willie Randolph. Willie tried to bunt for a base hit in the first inning, but bunted right back to the pitcher, Flanagan, who threw him out. Left-hander's curve drops in for a strike. They play Willie straight away. The infield up the middle, the outfield again bunched, giving him both corners. Pitch is in at the knees for a call, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Mickey Rivers is waiting on deck. Flanagan rocks back, offers fastball low, 1-2. The Yankees and the Orioles meet tomorrow afternoon, a 2 o'clock ball game, and it will be Senior Citizens Day here at the stadium. 1-2 delivery to Randolph. Swung on in line toward left center field, moving fast, Harlow, and makes the catch. The center fielder covered a lot of ground in the gap, and Randolph is out.
Again, that ball didn't carry, Frank. And just a reminder that some of our guests on Frank's show received son of a gun, Clairol's little red 1250-watt hair dryer, separate controls for heat and airflow, 6 different settings from hot to cool. Others received the home Sentry smoke alarm from General Electric. Battery operated so it functions even in a power failure. It could help save your family's lives.
All right, Scooter, thank you. And Mickey Rivers takes a pitch down low. Quick struck out in the first inning, the only strikeout registered by Flanagan. DeCinces down the line at third, and a check swing on a breaking ball that's over for a called strike. 1-1. Thurman Munson is on deck. The Orioles lead 2-1 here at the stadium. Flanagan kicks and offers, breaking ball. And did he go? Dempsey wants an appeal made to the first base umpire. Instead, they appealed to the third base umpire, who said no.
Dempsey was wrong there.
Yeah. The third base umpire will call those check swings on a left-hand batter, the first base umpire on a right-hand hitter. He has normal reaction for the catcher to point toward first. 2-1 pitch. Hit in the air to center field. Harlow started back. Now he's got to come in. Can he get there? He does. And that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. At the end of 3, it's the Orioles 2 and the Yankees 1.
Wherever you may roam, you'll find our name is known. You can trust the Delco.
Hey, Delco.
Delco Freedom Battery.
The Delco Freedom Battery is truly maintenance-free. It never needs water, so the power is sealed in. Get freedom. You'll say, thanks, Delco.
You're welcome. They've got the stuff when the starting's tough. You can trust the Delco. Thanks, Delco. Delco Freedom Battery. Delco, thanks, Delco.
Firestone Superstone Springs Day.
Last night when I was making the scene, reading my favorite hot rod magazine. Now Firestone was giving away free 3 Fords and a something to see. And that number 1 hand machine.
Oh, supreme.
A 4x4 that's really more. A mini pickup.
It makes my heart go giddy up.
Dirty little machine. Hey, what a scene.
Hey, can you believe it? 3 ultimate customized machines. A van, mini courier, and 4x4 pickup. All done up by Hot Rod Magazine. And Firestone's giving them away free, along with 30 super mini vans. Nothing to buy. Just be sure you're a licensed driver and enter by May 31st. Void where prohibited. It's super. Believe it. The Firestone Superstone Sweepstakes.
All you gotta do to enter is run to Firestone's Tire Center.
Firestone Superstone Sweepstakes.
Doug DeCinces, Rick Dempsey, and Mark Belanger, the lower third of the batting order, will be up for the Orioles. DeCinces hit back to Hunter, leading off the second inning. Cat threw him out. Right-hand hitter, a pull hitter, and so played by the Yankees. The infield shaded well around to the left side, Dent way over in the hole. Hunter's pitch to him, swung on, and hit in the air to shallow left center. That's going to drop for a base hit. Little humpback liner. Mickey Rivers throws the ball back in, and DeCinces is on. So now in 3 of the 4 innings, the leadoff man has been on for the Orioles. That is their 4th hit off Hunter. And it brings up Rick Dempsey, who singled in left field his first time up. Right-hand batter. Hunter's pitch is foul back in the upper deck on the right side. Gets upstairs, bounces back down, caught some fans by surprise, and nobody got the baseball. That must be those people's first trip out here to the stadium, Scooter. They didn't even look up.
Normally they do. Fans that come out here all the time, they know that a lot of times it'll bounce back down.
The 1-strike pitch to Dempsey. Check swing. It's a ball high. Few umbrellas in evidence. A little misty rain has been falling throughout the ball game. The 1-1 pitch. Up high again. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Orioles are leading by a score of 2-1. Munson goes out to talk to Hunter. After tomorrow afternoon's game, the Yankees go to Toronto for a 2-day road trip. Both games in Toronto will start at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, New York time, and we'll be on the air at 3:45 with a pregame show. That's Wednesday and Thursday. Now the 2-1 pitch to Dempsey. Hunter turns it loose, and his slider is low. 3 balls and 1 strike. Following the games in Toronto, the Yankees return here to the stadium Friday night for a weekend series against the Milwaukee Brewers. 3-1 on Dempsey. DeCinces at first. Nobody out. Hunter sets, and the pitch. Foul back off the umpire, Joe Brinkman. 3-2. Now, DeCinces is looking over to Cal Ripken to see if he should be running on 3-2 with nobody out. The next batter, Mark Belanger. We'll watch DeCinces. Walks off a fair lead. He is not going. The pitch is hit in the air to left center field. Rivers going back to his right, circles under it, makes the catch. DeCinces all the way down to second base, retreats to first, and there's 1 away. That is the longest ball hit in the game.
Yep.
Not necessarily the hardest. I think Reggie's single in the first inning was probably the hardest hit ball.
It was.
Not in the first inning.
Now, the first base coach, excuse me, Frank, was just telling DeCinces he could have come back and tagged up and easily cruised into second base. That ball was hit so deep.
Here's Belanger with 1 out. DeCinces back at first. Belanger takes over, but low, ball 1. Belanger walked in the second inning. One on with 1 gone. Hunter's pitch on the inside corner, letter high, and the count evens 1-1. Hunter takes his time, has the sign from Munson, drops the hands. 1-1 pitch is butted, foul off the third base side. Belanger trying to surprise, did not give that one away at all. Just dropped the bat at the last second, but butted it foul. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, DeCinces comes back into first base.
Hello, Frank.
Hey, Danny.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you, sir.
The Dodgers are getting killed. I hope the same thing isn't happening here tonight.
We'll tell you who the voice belongs to in a second. The pitch is fouled off by Belanger. It's always a pleasure to see and to welcome to the broadcast booth Danny Thomas. Great to have you with us.
Nice to be with you, Frank. That was such a thrilling reception I got from the gang here tonight. I don't think they remember the old hook nose that well.
Oh, yes. I'll tell you, cool night in New York, but a warm reception always at Yankee Stadium, and especially for Danny Thomas. 1-2 pitch, low and away to Belanger.
This is my first trip here. First time I've seen the stadium. Bill Fagazi brought me. And I tell you, it's beautiful. Just beautiful.
It is. It's a great ballpark.
Great ballpark.
Danny, I know that you're in New York to say a few words about the special show you have coming up.
Yeah, May 29th from the Ed Sullivan Theater, we're going to have a mini telethon, 5 hours only for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis. And Lord willing, we're going to pick up $1 million that night.
2-2 pitch will be coming down to Belanger. Hunter turns it loose. The runner goes.
Hello,
Belanger up the middle. Dent is up with the ball. His only play is to first base in time. DeCinces running on the pitch, cruises into second base as Dent throws out Belanger for the second out. Danny, I know that such tremendous good has been done at the hospital down in Memphis, St. Jude's,
yes,
and you're to be certainly commended. You've heard this a million times, and coming from me, it doesn't add anything, but I just want you to know how we feel about it.
It does, and I thank you for that. I'll tell you, it's fantastic. It's the only institution of its kind in the whole world. And we could use one for adults, too, in the country, and I hope they have it. I mean, where it's absolutely, positively, exclusively for fighting certain diseases amongst adults, too. We'll talk about that later.
Now Bumbry, the batter, with 2 outs, a runner at second, and Hunter throws one of his few fastballs of the night and gets it over the outside corner. Strike 1. Cat has been going mainly with the off-speed pitches and the breaking ball. Now he sets, looks back at second, deals, swing and a miss by Bumbry. Bumbry has walked and also grounded out to Hunter. Cat fielded his ground ball on the first base side of the mound. Nobody covered first, and Hunter ran over and made the play unassisted. That was back in the second. 0-2 count. DeCinces down at second, 2 away. The set by Hunter, the pitch, Line left side foul ball. Hit off the box seat wall. Right now, 5 seconds for station identification.
You're listening to New York Yankee Baseball on 1460 WOKO Albany.
The Orioles are leading 2-1. I'm Frank Messer, along with a Scooter Phil Rosito, and we're being visited by Danny Thomas here in the booth. Hunter looks back, and the 0-2 pitch coming to Bumbry. Here it is, outside, a ball, 1-2. The Orioles have had men in scoring position in every inning. They have scored 2 of them for a 2-1 lead. Now Bumbry wants time. Steps away.
There was a strange time called, wasn't it, when Catfish was just about, I thought he threw his arm off.
That was Bumbry up there then, too.
Yeah, right.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Foul back. Danny, with all your interest in the entertainment media and in sports, you ever try any sports broadcasting?
No, sir. I am quite inadequate at that. That's your field. I know nothing about that at all.
That's the lead to prove.
All right, Hunter with a 1-2 pitch again. Here it comes. Inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two pitch. Low and outside, ball 3. So Cat has worked to count full on Al Bumbry. 2 outs. DeCinces down at second. The Orioles are leading 2-1. Hunter and Munson have a little trouble getting together on the sign. Now Cat is ready. The payoff pitch to Bumbry. Up high, he walked him, ball 4. So the Orioles will have runners at first and second. That is the 4th walk given up by Hunter. And the batter will be Billy Smith, who has sacrificed and grounded out.
It's a little chilly for a pitcher tonight. Wouldn't you say something?
Yes, I would have to think so. The oddity of baseball is you go to the warm weather for spring training, and then you invariably open the season in much cooler weather. Quite a change. Here's the pitch, and it's high to Billy Smith. The exception, of course, the Dodgers, whom I know you're very fond of. The weather's always been in L.A., they tell me.
Pretty well. I think we've been rained out only once, I think, in some, I don't know how many hundred years. Cold and a kind of rain in L.A., that was unusual.
A ball and no strikes to Billy Smith. He swings, bats one down to first base. Nice. Chambliss up with it right at the bag, and that's the 3rd out. No runs, a base hit. 2 men are left. At the end of 3 1/2, the score is Baltimore 2 and the Yankees 1.
Cahoe's Tobacco Company has more to offer than the name implies. They carry one of the largest inventories of all Zenith products in the Tri-City area. Color and black and white TVs, table models and console stereos, and video cassette recorders. All TVs are delivered free of charge within the Tri-City area by servicemen who adjust each set specifically to your location. Cahoe's Tobacco Company has its own service department on the premises, and they therefore personally guarantee and personally stand behind each and every Zenith product they sell. 9-inch diagonal black and white, battery-operated and portable black and white 12 and 19-inch diagonal TVs, portable stereo with AM, FM stereo radio, record player and cassette or 8-track tape with play and record. All available at Cahoe's Tobacco Company's everyday low prices. Stop in, check it out. Cahoe's Tobacco Company, centrally located in downtown Cahoe's at 60 Rumson Street. Open Tuesday and Friday till 9, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday till 5:30. Closed Sunday and Monday. More to offer than the name implies. Cahoe's Tobacco Company.
Tax time got you coming and going. Do you expect a refund but can't wait to use the money? See the friendly professionals at Protective Loan. Money is their business. Get the cash you need now for whatever reason. Phone for a loan today or see the friendly professionals at Protective. Visit the new Protective Loan office at 259 Central Avenue, Albany.
WOKO. In Pittsburgh and possibly Boston. I want to thank everybody in the New York area that tried to help. And I want to apologize to those that I couldn't make, like Stan Siegel, who's very popular here, and my friend Gene Charlotte, and all the folks on the Today Show, because it's much too early in the morning for me to get made up in hair and all that jazz. And I have chronic laryngitis, and I cannot broadcast early, so I apologize to everybody.
All right, Danny. Thurman Munson takes a pitch low, and of course your show will be seen here in New York.
Yes, of course, and it'll be the first big fundraiser for St. Jude's in the history of St. Jude's in the New York area. And I know the folks are going to respond because every nickel is going to go right to that hospital. It's again, WOR, right.
Thurman takes a curve low. Danny Thomas, the continued success to you. God bless you in your work with St. Jude's and in the many hours of happiness you've given us so many millions of people.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Very gracious to let me come on and say hello and talk about the telephone.
Enjoy the ball game.
Oh, I certainly shall.
And go right ahead and root for the Yankees.
All right. I apologize to the Baltimore folks, but I'm a guest here.
Okay, Danny. Very diplomatically put. Danny Thomas, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you.
2 balls and a strike on Thurman. Slow curve, and he's out in front, fouls it off. Now, Arthur Adler, what do we do if the Yankees and the Dodgers meet in the World Series and Danny Thomas visits again? Let him root for both sides?
You better move back and forth.
Okay. Quite a sports fan, of course, living in L.A., quite a Dodger fan. 2-2 to Munson. Hit on the ground is short. Belanger is up with it. And Munson did not run it out. He is claiming, I think, interference by the catcher, and that's what it will be. Catcher's interference interfered with by Rick Dempsey, and Munson is awarded first base. You don't see that too many times. Maybe once a year on the average. Interference on the catcher, and technically that is an error, so charge Dempsey with an error, charge Munson with a time at bat, and put Thurman down at first base on interference by Dempsey on Munson's swing. Reggie the batter, and Flanagan's pitch on the outside corner, strike one. Catcher's interference is an error charged to the catcher. Well, Munson is charged with a time at bat. Thurman just started trotting down to first base. He takes his lead, draws a look from Flanagan. The pitch to Jackson. Curve is swung on and missed, strike 2. Big jug-handle curveball that time by the left-hander Mike Flanagan. Reggie singled sharply to center field in the second inning as the leadoff hitter and came in to score the Yankee run. He scored when Cliff Johnson grounded into a bases-loaded double play. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball hit on the ground is short. Could be 2. Belanger to Smith out at second. Back to first, double play. 6-4-3 double play. Perfect double play ball. Came up on a nice hop to Belanger. He fed it beautifully to Billy Smith at second. Smith eluded Munson's slide as Thurman went straight into the bag, as you have to now, and made his throw to first base to double up Jackson. I believe Reggie Jackson grounded into only 2 double plays all of last year, Phil.
That's right. He happened to hit that one real hard right at the wrong man, that Belanger. He doesn't waste a fraction of a second getting rid of that ball, which makes it easier for the second baseman.
Getting that throw in a hurry, he can elude the runner coming in. Piniella the batter. Lou takes low and away, ball 1. The Yankee team record for fewest double plays grounded into in a season is 2. Reggie, Mickey Rivers, and Mickey Mantle, I believe, the co-holders. 1-0 pitch to Lou. Strike over the outside corner.
The thing is, Jackson doesn't have near the speed of a Rivers or a Mantle.
No. 2 outs, the bases are empty. The Orioles are leading 2-1 here in the 4th as Flanagan winds. 1-1 to Lou. Curve is low and in. Ball 2.
We got a final on that Texas-Cleveland score, Frank. Cleveland shut him out 6-0. A 2-hitter by Rick Waite.
Wow.
Beat John Matlack and Pruitt. Homered with 2 on his second of the year for the Indians.
2 ball, 1 strike pitch. Outside, it's ball 3. You know one thing about a season, a lot of folks don't think about the Clevelands, the Torontos, the Milwaukees, the Detroits, the clubs that are going to finish in the second division, but as they improve, they knock off the top clubs.
Right.
That tightens the race up. Piniella takes, and a strike is called, 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch to Lou. Swing and a miss got him on a dipping breaking ball to retire the side. At the end of 4, the score, Baltimore 2 and the Yankees 1. Leading the scoreboard, the Mets 2, the Cardinals 2 at the end of 1.5. Nino Espinosa pitching for the Mets. Pete Falcone for St. Louis. And let's see, at the end of 4.5, the Phillies 5, the Pirates 2. Greg Luzinski is homered for Philadelphia. And Dave Parker is homered for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Cincinnati 7, the Dodgers nothing at the end of 3.5. And this afternoon, San Fran beat Atlanta 5-1. Right here, we're in the 5th inning now with the Orioles leading 2-1. The Birds have 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error. The Yankees 1 run, only 2 hits, and no errors. And ready to step back in with the play-by-play, ladies and gentlemen, here's Phil.
All right, Frank. We explained to you, of course, there's no time at bat when the catcher's interference is called an error.
Uh-oh. I said there was a time at bat.
Oh, I'm sorry, Frank. I was listening to you and Danny Thomas. Very interesting interview, and I didn't hear you say that. First pitch is fouled off by Singleton in the seats down the left field line. The strange thing is I know better. Yeah, well, now, the reason I know it so well is that I used to pull a trick that used to infuriate the catchers. And sometimes they'd get hurt. I'd bluff a bunt. And then as the catcher would come up on the plate, I'd bring the bat back. And it would hit their mask or their glove. And then the ball would hit them. And they'd scream and say I did it intentionally.
Aye.
Now I can say it. I did it intentionally. And that's why I know that it's not a time at bat. Meanwhile, there are 2 strikes on Singleton. High and outside, a ball and 2 strikes.
That's one of those technicalities in the scoring, and I said charge him with a time at bat, and I knew just as well as not he should not be, even though an error is charged.
All right, low and outside, it's 2-2. Now, Danny Thomas is quite a man, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's done some excellent work. Great entertainer.
Yep. The 2-2 pitch. High, 3-2. So Catfish was ahead, 0-2, and he's run the count full. He has had full counts on so many hitters tonight. Twice when he walked the leadoff man in an inning, they came around to score on him. Foul just got a piece of it.
So with some of these things that you now admit you did in your playing career, I'm surprised that your career lasted as long as it did.
Well, I was so tricky, Frank. They never knew whether I did it on purpose or not. When you're little, you got to find a lot of ways to get on first. Ball 4. And Catfish and Billy Martin and Dick Hauser running to the phone. That's the 5th walk. And as Frank told you, this is 4 out of the 5 innings that the Birds have had their leadoff man on. And in 2 of those innings, they scored a run, and as I mentioned, both times the man walked leading off the inning. Bumbry in the 1st and Singleton in the 3rd. Now Singleton has walked here in the 5th. Eddie Murray bounced into a 4th place single to right. The pitch hit deep to left field. Piniella going way back. Way back. That ball is over his head. He falls down. Gets up. The run will score, and Murray will have a triple. Murray hits one deep to left field. Piniella almost got that ball. He got a little turned around going back and almost caught the ball over his shoulder, but as he missed it, he fell down. And it's a triple for Murray. Singleton scores, and Baltimore now leads 3-1.
Right now, there's a break in the action. With the score, Baltimore 3, the Yankees 1.
This is Mel Allen. The Emery Flight Pack takes packages up to 5 pounds. It's probably the only small package service in existence that's big enough to carry Reggie Jackson's contract. Emery, the Air Force in air freight.
Lee May fouls the first pitch off down the right field line, strike 1. And the goose is up in the Yankee bullpen. Rich Gossage with Baltimore leading 3-1. Lee May has popped to third and hit a sacrifice fly to drive in a run. The infield is in. Bounce to the third. Nettles has it. Boy, that was quick reflexes. He throws May out, but before he threw May out, he reached over and tagged Murray, who luckily had just gotten back to the bag. Good play by Nettles. One away. And now Larry Harlow. Harlow has struck out twice. Last time he struck out, Munson threw the runner out trying to steal Eddie Murray. So it ended up as a double play. Again, the infield is in. Harlow, a left-hand batter. Catfish winds. The pitch, bouncing ball, base hit. Past the drawn in infield, and Baltimore leads 4-1. That ball right between first and second, on out in the right field. That's base hit number 6 and run number 4.
And Billy Martin is on his way out to the mound. So while Billy goes out and we see whether he's going to make a pitching change, Gossage, as Phil told you, just started to warm up. All right, Phil, we had a play in this ball game where Thurman Munson was awarded first base on catcher's interference.
Right.
And he is not charged for the time at bat. The catcher picks up an error. Now, what happens, and we had this in another ball game tonight, when the hitter is charged with interfering with the catcher. Now, let me tell you what happened. Phil told you that Cleveland beat Texas 6-0 on a two-hitter by Rick Waits. Now, the Rangers played the ball game under protest because the plate umpire called Bert Campaneris out trying to steal third in the first inning on the grounds that hitter Richie Zisk interfered with the catcher.
Yes, I have seen that happen several times during my career. If the batter makes no attempt to get out of the way of the catcher throwing the ball to third base, or leans a little bit, or stands up a little straight and leans back, either forward or back, the umpire has a right to call the base runner out, or rather call the hitter out, and the base runner has to go back to the base that he started from.
So anyway, the Rangers protest the ball game as Cleveland won it 6-0, and right now Billy Martin has pulled Catfish Hunter, and Rich Gossage will be coming on to pitch for the Yankees.
That almost happened in the 75 series when the Red Sox claimed interference when, I don't know whether it was Armbruster, went up and bunted and didn't try to get out of the way too quickly of Carlton Fisk coming out, but Fisk made the mistake of not tagging Armbruster and throwing wildly to second base, which led to a big run, and the Red Sox lost that game. It was quite an argument ensued, and it could have been called either way, except that Fisk had the opportunity to. He actually had the ball in his bare hand and pushed Armbruster with his glove. All he had to do was tag him with the back of the glove with the ball in it. He'd have been out and a possible double play. But that is I don't think they have a leg to stand on, the Texas Rangers, because the umpire can call that play if he thinks the batter intentionally interfered with the catcher's throw to third base.
Well, according to this note we have here from the Sports Wire, he did call Campaneris out.
That is interesting there.
Interesting, yeah.
Now there, on a technicality, maybe they could possibly win a protest.
All right, back to this game, and Goose Gossage has come on here in the fifth inning. Catfish goes 4 1/3. He has been charged with 6 hits, so far 4 runs. Hunter walked 5 and struck out 2. As Gossage warms up, we'll run down the scoreboard for you to tell you Boston defeated Milwaukee 9-2. Detroit over Chicago 10-9. Oakland topped Minnesota 7-2. It was Kansas City 3 and Toronto 1. Cleveland shutting out Texas 6-0, and no report yet on California at Seattle, a night ball game at a later start. Gossage is ready, and he'll be pitching to Doug DeCinces.
All right, Frank. DeCinces has hit to the box and single. The run is going. The pitch outside. Throw ball. Holy cow! And Randolph dropped the ball. That's got to be an error. You should have seen the play Munson made. The pitch was low and outside. Thurman backhanded it through sidearm, and they're giving him a stolen base. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Randolph had him out by 10 feet. I don't see how Munson made that play, Frank.
No, I don't either. And, well, I guess there's sort of a rule of thumb. If the runner breaks before the pitcher is thrown and he makes it to the bag, they'll give him the stolen base.
Unbelievable. Munson threw a strike, and I think Randolph had the ball so early he was confused and just dropped it. So there's no error on the play, and a stolen base for Harlow. It's 1-1 now on Doug DeCinces. Munson made an unbelievable defensive play there. Gossage to the belt. The pitch is foul. That'll be out of play. Chambliss chases it to the box seats, but it goes well back. A ball and 2 strikes. Rick Dempsey on deck. Gossage so far this year has 1 run and lost 2. This is his 3rd appearance. He has pitched 4 innings, allowed 5 hits, and 2 of those hits were home runs. He has not walked anybody and struck out 4. Hard throwing right-hander. His earned run average right now is 6.75. That's going to be way down, possibly below 2 when the season's over. There's a foul upstairs and out of play. He just challenges those hitters with that fastball. DeCinces asked the plate umpire, Joe Brinkman, if the pitch was a little high. You don't have too much time to make up your mind with Gossage throwing that blazer, whether to swing or take it. Harlow leads off second. The pitch, oh, that's gone. Holy cow, Gossage is throwing that gopher ball way back into the left field seats, and again he came in with a breaking pitch, and Gossage can't believe it. He has thrown 3 gopher balls this year in 3 appearances, and the Birds now take a 6-1 lead. A tremendous home run, the first of the year by DeCinces, deep into the left field seats. One of those runs charged to Catfish, and 1 to Gossage. Birds have 6 runs on 7 hits, and Rick Dempsey the batter. Dempsey is singled and fly to center, ball 1. He was throwing nothing but heat, and then decided to throw a breaking pitch, and DeCinces really creamed it. Strike call, 1-1. Gossage really looks dejected out there. I guess he can't figure it out. Strike 2, a high fastball. He turns around, shoulders kind of slouching, walks back on the grass, just shaking his head back there. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. 4 big runs in for Baltimore this inning. And a bouncer off Gossage's glove. Randolph up, throw to first, scooped up by Chambliss. They got him. That play goes 1-4-3. Two men are out. And the batter now, Mark Belanger, who has walked and bounced to short. 3 of the men Catfish has walked have come back to haunt him. They've scored in this ball game. There's a line drive base hit to right center field for Belanger. That's rolling to the wall. It got by Jackson. Reggie up, Belanger around second. He's going to try for third, comes back, and luckily he did. He had started for third. He would have been a dead duck, but came back. A double to right center field. I tell you, when you hit the ball off Gossage, it goes, Frank.
Yes, it does. Of course, he supplies that power with his pitching arm, with the hard stuff. All you have to do is make contact, and that'll add a lot of distance to it.
Well, Munson's out talking with Gossage. He's trying to settle him down. Gossage's got to be a confused young man right now. He set the National League on fire last year. All right, the batter now, Al Bumbry. He's walked twice, hit to the box. He has scored once. And the fastball is outside, ball 1. The double all the way. We put that down right away. No error. The ball just scooted by Reggie. Foul back, 1-1. Gossage kicks, delivers. There's a strike on a good fastball, a ball and 2 strikes. The kick. Pitch high and outside. Gossage stumbled a little bit. After he delivered that pitch, he'll work on that mound a little bit. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Baltimore 6 and the Yankees 1. Belanger at second. Swing and a foul tip in and out of the glove of Munson. Count holds at 2-2. Mickey Rivers, the way he's facing out there. Foul back and out of play. Mickey is looking right towards Reggie Jackson. This is something new. I don't believe I've seen Mickey do that before.
No. Taking that sideways stance out there in center field.
He certainly doesn't need a head start on anything hit as quick as he is. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Gossage to the belt. Foul back to the screen. Bumbry's just flicking the bat at the ball. Gossage with another new baseball. He's set. The pitch, bouncing ball to his left. Randolph up with it on a short hop and throws him out. But the damage is done. 4 big runs scoring at the end of 4 1/2. The Orioles 6 and the Yankees 1.
What's the secret behind Wendy's hot and juicy hamburgers? It's no secret at all.
At Wendy's, we use fresh meat instead of frozen meat. We think it's juicier.
We make our patties fresh each and every morning. Harder on us, juicier for you.
We serve every hamburger hot off the grill, never pre-cooked or warmed over.
At Wendy's, hot and juicy is not a slogan. It's the way we make our hamburgers. Know what it takes? A lot of extra work and a lot of good thinking. Come on in and try Wendy's old-fashioned hamburgers. Juicy meat, juicy toppings, and lots of napkins.
Wendy's, 1335 Central Avenue, just east of Colony Center, 741 New Loudon Road, just south of the Circle, and 3 Clifton Country Road, opposite the entrance to Clifton Country Mall.
I guess I'm lucky. My family's always been healthy. Oh, a touch of constipation now and then, but we've got X-Lax for that.
Today, more American families trust X-Lax than any other brand. All laxative you can count on X-Lax for relief in the morning. For occasional use, always directed.
Why X-Lax? My family trusts it. That's why.
Now, for itching, Vicozine brings you a powerful anti-itch drug without a doctor's prescription. Use only as directed. For itching skin tissues, get Vicozine cream.
You're listening to New York Yankee Baseball on 1460 WOKO Albany.
Chris Chambliss leads it off. Chris walked his first time up. First pitch is over, strike 1 from Mike Flanagan. Left-hander winds. Curve bounce foul past Gene Michael down the first base line, 0-2. So Mike Flanagan looking for his first win of the year. Has a 5-run cushion here in the bottom of the 5th. Down the left field line, but foul back into the seats. It'll be Chambliss, Cliff Johnson, and Graig Nettles here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Yankees have had only 2 hits off Flanagan. Curve lined right at Belanger, who grabs it at his shoe top. It was not hard hit. 1 away. Cliff Johnson bounced into a double play in that 2nd inning. Jackson and Piniella singled and Chambliss walked. The Yankees had the bases loaded, nobody out. And then Cliff Johnson hit a hard ground ball that DeCinces turned into a double play. The Yankee run scored on it. Curve is high, ball 1. Flanagan gets the sign. Outfield deep on Cliff. Outside, 2-0. Singleton really deep and well over in right center. Low in the dirt, 3-0. Ball game was a little late getting underway because of the rain. None of the weathermen had predicted rain for tonight. They said tomorrow night. Low ball 4, and Cliff Johnson is on with a walk. Second pass given up by Flanagan. And now Graig Nettles. Graig line to center field his first time up.
That rain holds off until tomorrow night. It'll be after the ball game. The Yankee game is an afternoon game, starting at 2 with Baltimore tomorrow.
Right. Very rare day game in the middle of the week here at the stadium. Swing and a miss, strike one on a high slider. Eddie Murray not holding Cliff Johnson too close at first base. Baltimore leading 6-1. They figure Cliff will not be running. The kick and the curve low. 1-1. And Flanagan wants a new baseball. And it looks like a ball has been called as Flanagan went to his mouth on the mound. And now Earl Weaver is coming out. Earl knows that they're on TV tonight. And he's showing his good side to the camera. You know, Weaver reminds me a little bit of Leo DeRocha, Frank. He comes out, makes a lot of gestures with his head, kicks the dirt, and I bet a lot of times he's just talking very nicely to the umpire, but the fans eat it up.
Oh, yeah.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, yeah. And a good manager.
Oh, yes. Excellent. Manager of the year last year. All right, 1-1 on Graig Nettles. Make that 2-1. He check it. They ask the umpire at third. He says, no, it's 3-1. And Dempsey takes his mask off and yells at the third base umpire, you better put that mask back on. Joe Brickman, the plate umpire, says, hey, don't show my buddy up. 3 balls and a strike. Umpires are calling a lot of things much closer this year. Frank explained that sliding into second base. The 3-1 pitch. Strike called, and Nettles tried to get out of the way of that one. And he called it a strike. It's 3-2. No longer can you slide out of the baseline to go after an infielder. The payoff pitch. Loop one, a shallow center. Harlow coming on, Bumbry on, and Harlow makes the running catch. 2-away. That'll bring up Bucky Dent, who flied to left his first time up. Yankees trailing 6-1 here in the bottom of the 5th. Flanagan sets, and the pitch is over the outside corner, strike call. Bucky Dent batting .269. Flanagan steps off the rubber. Wants the signs again from Rick Dempsey. 6-1 the Birds lead. 8 hits for Baltimore, 2 for the Yankees. Fastball foul back to the screen. 0-2. Yankees had to win 3 in a row to get back to 500, where they are right now. Curve low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Baltimore has always played the Yankees tough. Cliff Johnson leads away. Fastball hit deep to left foot foul, way back in the upper deck. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Cheers you hear for the kids getting the foul balls in the upper deck. As a fly ball to right field, Singleton coming on, makes the catch. No runs, no hits, no errors. A man left at the end of 5. It's Orioles 6 and the Yankees 1.
The day is done. It's time to let it go. Just a moment to unwind. The day and for the dreamers and travel back and the beavers will help when you say
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis. They came from across the sea, from Japan, Germany, England, Italy, bright and eager to show what they could do. They were foreigners in a foreign land. But one thing that was true in the old country was also true in the new.
You can't buy a better club for any kind of car than Champion. You can't buy a better club no matter where you are than Champion. Champion's number one in your car.
Imports from every country find America is the land of opportunity. The opportunity to use Champion, the world's best-selling spark plug. The plug that wins more big races. For imports, you can't buy a better plug than Champion.
You can't buy a better plug than Champion. You can't buy a better plug than Champion.
A gas explosion has rendered moderate damage to a General Electric building in Schenectady. A composed man today has entered a guilty plea to a charge of first-degree manslaughter. There's a primary challenge to State Senator Joe Bruno of Troy. Senate Majority leaders are saying that a compromise is in the works that will guarantee both American and Panamanian rights. And UN Secretary General Kurt Waldheim is in Tel Aviv talking with Israeli leaders about the area that they invaded. This is Rick Christo. We'll have details after the game at 1460 WOKO Albany.
Billy Smith leads it off. He has sacrificed bounce to second, bounce to first, takes the strike from Rich Gossage. Gossage relieved Catfish Hunter last inning. And there's a drive to right field. Jackson moving back. He's going to have room on the warning track. Makes the catch, backing up right in front of the fence. Gossage throwing that long ball so far tonight. Homer and a double he's given up. And now Ken Singleton has been on base 3 times with a single and 2 walks. He's driven in a run and scored twice.
I don't know whether the atmosphere has changed or whether it's the pitch from Gossage, but the ball has suddenly started to carry.
That's right. Earlier we were mentioning that they were not carrying.
They weren't carrying earlier in the game.
The pitch to Singleton. Inside, ball 1. On deck, Eddie Murray. Deep to left field, but Piniella's there. Backing up a little and makes the catch. So there are 2 away. And now Eddie Murray. He bounced into a force play, single to right and triple to left. He scored a run and driven in a run. 6-1 Baltimore leads here in the top of the 6th. 2 out, nobody on. Change up outside, ball 1. Low, 2-0. Gossage winds. Another changeup outside, ball 3. Now even Gossage got the word that Murray is an excellent fastball hitter. He tried 3 off-speed pitches, but missed. He's got to come in with that fastball now. 3-0.
If you were a waiver, would you turn Murray loose?
I would. The 3-0 pitch all the way back to the screen. Munson's got to hustle after it. It's ball 4. No way to tell whether he would have swung at that or not. It was in the dirt. Ball 4.
And for just a second, we'll update the scores for you. Cleveland shut out Texas 6-0. Kansas City 3, Toronto 1. Oakland defeated Minnesota 7-2. Detroit scored 4 in the 9th to beat Chicago 10-9. And it was Boston 9 and Milwaukee 2. In the National League, some games still going. The Mets and Cards are tied 2-2, and it's raining in the 2nd inning, delayed in St. Louis. Atlanta dropped a 1-5 decision to San Francisco, the Giants winning by the Blues' first National League win.
All right, Lee May is up there, and he fouls it off.
The Phillies lead the Pirates 6-2 at the end of 7. Also at the end of 7 innings, it's now Cincinnati 8 and the Dodgers nothing.
And last year, one of the reasons the Dodgers handled the Reds very well, that's why they were able to win by over 10 games. High fly, right field, Reggie Jackson. Long run. Now Randolph goes after it. Now Jackson, and Randolph misses it. And holding at third base is Eddie Murray. That's a base hit. Jackson was playing deep. And Randolph started after it, looked at Jackson. Willie hesitated, then saw that Jackson couldn't reach it. Willie went after it. It just couldn't reach it. He caught it on one hop. Lee May was not hustling, and he remains at first. Murray is at third. That is the third hit off Gossage. And the ninth hit for the Orioles. And the batter now, Larry Harlow, has struck out twice in singles.
Jim Fry down there at first base is saying to Lee May, I shouldn't be talking to you. You should be at second base.
That's right, grounded to short. Bucky Dent, bad hop up with it, flips to Randolph. Oh, a wicked hop. No runs, a hit, no errors. 2 men left at the end of 5.5. Baltimore 6 and the Yankees 1.
Tired of the same old humdrum sandwiches? Well, you can change all of that with a submarine sandwich from Big Dom's. How about a hot sub? Big Dom's has them. Hot Italian meatball, sausage, or pepperoni. Over 30 different submarine sandwiches to choose from with fresh meats, cheese, and vegetables. Big Dom's submarines are really big. Not just big rolls, but they stuff them full of the finest meats, cheese, and freshest vegetables available. The Big Dom sub is a true meal in itself. And how about veal and peppers made with Big Dom's own wine sauce? It has that something special that it takes to carry Big Dom's name. Big Dom has 8 convenient locations in the Capital District: Albany, Latham, Rotterdam, Troy, Westmere, and now Manans. How's that for convenience? Whether it's a cold or hot meal you're looking for, Big Dom's has it. All subs are made fresh right in front of you. If it's variety, quality, and value you're looking for, Big Dom's has it all. Stop in today and enjoy a meal like never before.
Get ready for the Barzins at everybody's favorite garage sale, the 5th annual WOKO Garage Sales at Benefit Hotels. It's being held Sunday, May 7th in the parking lot of Cat Furniture, 3 miles west of the Northway on Central Avenue from 9 a.m. to 4. You know the garage sale's a great place to buy and sell your trash or treasures. And to add to the fun, entertainment by Rusty Howard and the Country Travelers, Sunday, May 7th in the Cat Furniture parking lot, 3 miles west of the Northway on Central Avenue. No dealers, please. We'll be looking for you at the 5th annual WOKO Garage Sale.
WOKO. We go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Orioles are leading the Yankees 6-1. The top of the batting order up, Randolph, Rivers, and Munson.
Willie bounces one to third. DeCinces fires it to first, and there's one away. Randolph now 0 for 3. Now Mickey Rivers. Mick has struck out and fly to center. Flanagan has held the Yankees to 2 base hits. He's walked 2 and struck out 2.
The Yankees got 2 of those hits and 1 of the walks in the 2nd inning when they scored their run.
That's right. That was the inning the Yankees had to get to, Flanagan. He is settled down now. Mickey bounces one right to second. Up with it is Billy Smith to first, and quickly there are 2 out on 2 pitches. And now Thurman Munson, who was hit to the box and then reached first base on Rick Dempsey's interference. Munson 0 for 1 on the night. Baltimore, rather 6-1. Gave the Yankees an extra run there at 6-1. Baltimore leading. Thurman batting .267. Flanagan winds, and the pitch bounced in the hole, and Belanger can't get it. Boy, when you get one by Belanger, that's something. Munson back to first base. First Yankee hit since the 2nd inning. 3rd of the ball game, and Reggie Jackson the batter. And now the Yankees need a little long balling to get back in this ball game. Reggie lined a single to center and scored in the 2nd. Hit into a double play in the fourth. 2 men out. Eddie Murray was trying the hidden ball trick on Munson. Didn't work. The kick and the pitch to Jackson. Outside, ball 1.
So surprised to see Murray down there at first holding Munson on with Jackson up and the Orioles leading by 5.
That is a little surprising. Murray's got his hands up saying, where do you want me? Now they move him back. Whoops.
He doesn't want to play in. He wants to play back. I don't blame him.
Nope. And Murray's saying, where do you want me? Munson leads away. Pitch is popped up. The left field, Bumbry is right there. And makes the catch. No runs ahead, no errors. A man left at the end of 6. Orioles 6 and the Yankees 1.
The day is done. It's time to let it go. It's the moment to unwind. For there's a and for the king of years, and settle back and be yourself. No matter what you do, no matter when or where, you know a glass of blood is like an easy yes when you're big bird like
Yeah, Budweiser. Absolutely the best way to call it a day. Any day. You know what I mean. When you say Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Specs, makers of fine athletic shoes for tennis, basketball, jogging, or just running around. Specs shoes are designed to make your feet work a little faster than your competition's. Whether your game is basketball, tennis, running, or just hanging around looking terrific, look for Specs at over 600 fine stores in and around New York. Smart New Yorkers already have. They know that when you step into your Specs, you're ready to step out. Spec athletic shoes for all sports.
The Yankees will be back at Yankee Stadium this coming weekend to play the Milwaukee Brewers. That'll be Friday night at 8 and Saturday and Sunday afternoons at 2 o'clock. Saturday is also Senior Citizens Day. Every fan 60 and over will be admitted to an outfield box seat for just 50 cents. 2 Senior Citizens Days this week. Tomorrow afternoon, the Yankees and the Orioles at 2, and then next Saturday afternoon, the Yankees and the Brewers at 2 o'clock. Doug DeCinces leads off the 7th. He homered his last trip and fouls one back in the upper deck, strike 1. DeCinces was the first man Gossage faced, and he homered on a 1-ball, 2-strike pitch deep into the left field seats. Now the 0-1 pitch to him, foul back again, got him in on the hands. As we recall, the other homers off Gossage, the one hit by Richie Zisk down in Texas, came on a 0-2 pitch. The one hit by Larry Heisel out in Milwaukee came on a 0-2 pitch. And the one hit by DeCinces tonight on a 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. The right-hander winds and deals. There's a high fly ball, fairly deep left field, but Piniella should be there and makes the catch easily. 1 away here in the 7th. The batter will be Rick Dempsey. The Oriole catcher is 1 for 3. The Orioles got a runoff Hunter in the first on a walk, a sacrifice, and a single. They got a run in the third on a walk, a single, and a sacrifice fly. Then they scored 4 times in the 5th on 4 hits. Dempsey takes low and away. Singleton led with a walk. He scored on Murray's triple. Harlow single for another run, and then a 2-run homer by DeCinces. There's a rip and a foul back by Dempsey, and the count is 1 ball, 1 strike. The Orioles lead 6-1. The Yankees have managed only 3 hits off the Baltimore southpaw, Mike Flanagan. Orioles have 9 hits in the game. Over the head of Dempsey to the backstop. And the count is 2 balls and a strike. Dempsey sort of glares out toward the pitcher's mound. Two and one the count. Evidently, somebody in the Oriole dugout saying something, and Joe Brinkman, the plate umpire, turned over that way. Gossage with a 2-1 pitch. It's coming. Fastball is in low. 3 balls and 1 strike. Ken Holtzman had started to throw in the Yankee bullpen. The 3-1 pitch to Dempsey, a strike 2 call, full count. Ron Guidry will pitch tomorrow afternoon's ball game for the Yankees. Dennis Martinez has been nominated by the Orioles. 3-2 to Dempsey. Struck him out. Swing and a miss. That is the first strikeout for Gossage. Two down, and Mark Belanger will step in. Belanger has walked, grounded out to short, and doubled. He got his double off Gossage. The pitch to him, over but low, ball 1. Catfish Hunter went 4 1/3 innings, allowed 5 runs all earned on 6 hits. Hunter walked 5 and struck out 2. 1-0 deal is foul back in the upper deck. Gossage has allowed 1 run on 3 hits. Gossage has walked 1 and struck out 1. He takes the sign from Munson. The 1-1 delivery. Low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Al Bumbry is waiting on deck. 2-1 delivery. Check swing. A strike is called on Belanger. 2-2. The Islanders have defeated Toronto 4-1. That hockey game is all over. Final score, Islanders 4, Toronto 1. Lined out into right field. Jackson coming and makes a one-hand catch. Soft line drive is captured by Jackson to retire the side, and at the end of 6 1/2, the score now is Baltimore 6 and the Yankees 1.
Cahoe's Tobacco Company has more to offer than the name implies. They carry one of the largest inventories of all Zenith products in the Tri-City area. Color and black and white TVs, table models, and console stereos, and video cassette recorders. All TVs are delivered free of charge within the Tri-City area by servicemen who adjust each set specifically to your location. Cahoe's Tobacco Company has its own service department on the premises, and they, therefore, personally guarantee and personally stand behind each and every Zenith product they sell. Color portable TVs in 13, 17, 19, 23, and 25-inch diagonal, and color consoles in 23 and 25-inch diagonal, available in modern and Mediterranean styles. All available at Cahoe's Tobacco Company's everyday low prices. Stop in, check it out. Cahoe's Tobacco Company, centrally located in downtown Cahoe's at 60 Rumson Street. Open Tuesday and Friday till 9, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday till 5:30. Closed Sunday and Monday. More to offer than the name implies. Cahoe's Tobacco Company.
Hi, everybody. This is Donna Fargo. I want y'all to listen to my friend Ralph Emery when we talk about who knows what.
Listen to the Ralph Emery Show. The special guest Donna Fargo this Sunday, beginning at 4 till 9 o'clock on 1460 WOKO. That's this Sunday at 4 for the Ralph Emery Show on WOKO.
We'll go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Billy Martin is in quite a heated discussion right now with the plate umpire, Joe Brinkman, and Brinkman has Martin by the jacket. He's trying to go after somebody. Billy is after somebody down there, Scooter, and Joe Brinkman has grabbed him by the jacket. And whether it is coming from the Oriole dugout or what, Billy Martin is incensed, trying to get away from Joe Brinkman, and now the first base umpire, Dale Ford, comes down and grabs Martin. somebody in the Oriole dugout, or catcher Rick Dempsey, that Billy Martin is directing words to. But Billy is incensed. He keeps it up from the steps of the Yankee dugout. Billy Martin quite upset. Nobody else has said anything as far as the Yankees are concerned that we can tell, but Billy Martin had to be physically restrained from going after somebody in the area of the Oriole dugout. He had to be held by the plate umpire, Joe Brinkman, and then first base umpire, Dale Ford. Lou Piniella leads off the bottom half of the seventh and takes down low from Flanagan, ball one. The next pitch, Piniella fouls it out of play on the right side. Hits in the upper deck and stays. Billy still points over toward the Oriole dugout from within the confines of the Yankee dugout now. Well, something got Billy very, very upset. The count is a ball and a strike on Piniella. The Orioles are leading 6-1, and Flanagan's next pitch is outside and high. 2 balls, 1 strike. There's a strike call, 2-2. The Yankees have only 3 hits in the ball game, singles by Jackson, Piniella, and Munson. The 2-2 to Piniella, foul back. Missed the screen, came back in the crowd, and the count holds at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Flanagan winds and delivers. And it's line to left. Base hit for Lou Piniella. Fielded quickly by Bumbry. Throws into second base. And Piniella is on with his second hit of the game. And now 20 seconds for our local stations to identify themselves.
There's morning sickness on WOKO with Brian Jackson and Joe Gallagher, Monday through Friday morning. For Taste of the Strange, be sure to be on hand. 1460 WOKO, Albany.
Chris Chambliss steps in with Piniella down at first. Nobody out. Flanagan's pitch. Outside a ball. Chambliss has walked and lined out to the shortstop Belanger. Piniella is now 2 for 3, and he has half the total of Yankee hits. Flanagan offers. Breaking ball is fouled back off the chest protector of the plate umpire, Joe Brinkman. Cliff Johnson is the on-deck batter. Martin paces up and down now in the Yankee dugout. Piniella leads away. Murray plays behind him. The pitch to Chambliss, a breaking ball at the knees, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Flanagan checks Piniella. The pitch to Chambliss is fouled off. It's not called a foul. Chambliss doesn't run it out. Dempsey runs the ball down. Now throws to first base and not in time. Confusion on the field. Chambliss did not run it out, and now I believe Brinkman's going to call him back. Piniella went all the way to third, and Chambliss, of course, with first base occupied, cannot run it down. Piniella goes to third. Chambliss could not run it out to first base with the base occupied. A strikeout and a wild pitch will be charged to Flanagan, allowing Piniella to go from first to third. And Earl Weaver, the Oriole manager, comes out to talk to the plate umpire, Brinkman. Dempsey did not hustle back after that pitch. Had every indication of being a foul ball. Of course, Chambliss, realizing his first instinct was he could not go to first base with a bag occupied, but then did start down. Dempsey was not that fast in getting back for the loose baseball. So Piniella winds up at third I believe the sign has come up now from Brickman that Weaver is protesting the ball game. Of course, if the score stands that it is with the Orioles leading 6-1, or if they win the game, any protest would be forgotten. I don't know. Brickman just turned around and gave a sign up toward the press area, and that will be double-checked. A strikeout, a wild pitch. Piniella at third, one down, and Cliff Johnson, the batter, takes high. With 2 outs and first base occupied, the hitter can take the bag, or try to, on a third strike that gets away from the catcher. There's a swing and a foul off Dempsey's shin guards, and the count evens 1-1 on Johnson. Cliff has grounded into a double play and walked. Full windup, 1-1 delivery, fouled it down off his right leg. Johnson had a big swing at a breaking ball, and the count is 1-2. Piniella walks off a short lead at third. 1-2 pitch to Johnson now. It's high, 2-2. Earl Weaver will get some activity going in his bullpen now. And it is official. Weaver is playing the game under protest. 2-2 pitch from Flanagan. Popped up on the left side. Belanger, the shortstop, settles under it. Waiting and makes the catch. Johnson is out. 2 away. Graig Nettles will step in. And now the announcement is made to the fans here at Yankee Stadium by public address announcer Bob Shepard that the Orioles are playing the game under protest. The Texas Rangers played their game at Cleveland under protest tonight and got shut out 6-0 on a 2-hitter by Rick Waite. The first pitch to Nettles, swing and a miss, strike one. Nettles has lined to center and flied to center field. Harlow making a running catch on the second one. This one is down low. One delivery, foul straight back. Weaver gets right-hander Don Stanhouse and left-hander Tippy Martinez up in his bullpen. The 1-2 pitch. Curve is full foul outside of first. The count rides at a ball and 2 strikes on Graig Nettles. Bucky Dent is on deck. The Orioles lead 6-1, 2 outs and a man at third here in the bottom half of the 7th. Piniella walks off his lead. The windup, the pitch to Nettles. Popped up foul outside of third. It'll be back in the seat. The Yankees got their lone run in the second inning. Singles by Reggie Jackson and Lou Piniella, and a walk to Chambliss loaded the bases with nobody out. The Yankees got only 1 run, though, as Cliff Johnson grounded into a double play and Nettles lined out. 1-2 pitch is strike 3, called a breaking ball, and Nettles knew it. No runs, a hit, a man left at the end of 7. The score is Baltimore 6 and New York 1.
The day is done. Coming home. It's time to let it go. It's the moment to unwind. So just say, bud. Talking about your golden moment. This is it. Relaxing after a long day with the easy taste of Budweiser. For when you say Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Down. Under your hood, if it's running good, there's a motor in the place where the motor goes. And in the motor there's 4, 6, or 8 little holes where something that's called a spark plug goes. And that's what makes the motor run good under the hood. If the plugs you use are champion. 'Cause champions do what you want them to do. When you turn on the key, they're waiting on you. So if you've got 4, 6, or 8 little holes where the spark plug goes, buy a better plug than champion. We got a plug for any kind of car. You can't buy a better plug no matter where you are. So if you got 4, 6, or 8 little holes where the spark plug goes, you can't buy a better plug than champion. Now. 'Cause champions do what you want them to do. Give you better mileage and performance too. So if you got 4, 6, or 8 little holes where the spark plug goes, you can buy a better plug than champion. You can't buy a better plug than champion.
Very good. We'll go to the 8th inning. The Orioles have the top of the batting order coming up. Bumbry, Smith, and Singleton. Al Bumbry has walked and scored, grounded out to the pitcher, walked again, and grounded out to second.
Over the fact that Chambliss ran to first base after striking out.
We hear a strange explanation of Earl Weaver's protest on the game. We'll give it to you in a moment. Right now, Gossage to Bumbry, high with a fastball. The announcement has been made that Earl Weaver protested the game because Chambliss started to run to first base after striking out. It was a delayed start. There's a foul down off Munson. 1-1. I don't see what that would have to do with the way Rick Dempsey fielded the ball and then didn't do anything with it as Piniella went to third. So.
No, I've seen guys walk in the dugout, take a drink of water, and then run to first base.
2 balls and a strike. He fouls this one back. Knocked down by Munson. Bumbry picks it up and hands it to Thurman. 2-2. And Billy Martin very upset at Earl Weaver over something else, and we have no idea what that was all about.
No, but they were holding Weaver back in the Orioles dugout, and of course the umpires were holding Martin back.
2-2 pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3. The second strikeout for Gossage. 1 away, and Billy Smith will be coming on. Smith is 0 for 3. He reached on a sacrifice fielder's choice in the first inning. Since then, he has grounded out twice and flied deep to Jackson in right field. Gossage offers a strike, letter high. Ken Singleton is on deck. 2 o'clock game tomorrow. Ron Guidry and Dennis Martinez. Swing and a miss on the fastball, strike 2. Gossage winds and fires. The pitch is foul back below us. Gossage relieves Hunter in the 5th inning. After 2 runs had scored in the inning, and with a runner at second base. He faced DeCinces as the first batter, and DeCinces homered into the left field seats. Ground ball is hit to third past Nettles down the line into left field base hit. Graig had swung a bit wide against Billy Smith, who was up as a left-hand hitter. Tried to go to the line and get it, but could not reach it. The Orioles now have 10 hits in the game. That is the 4th off Gossage. Everybody in the Oriole batting order has been on base. Pitches down low to Singleton. Everybody has a hit for the Orioles except Bumbry, and he has walked twice. One out, one on. Gossage working off the set position. And Singleton lines one over Nettles' head into left field again, base hit. Down to second base, holding on Billy Smith as Piniella throws into Dent. So back-to-back singles, and the Orioles are starting something else. Runners at first and second, 1 out. 11 hits in the ball game for the Birds. And the batter is Eddie Murray, the switch-hitting first baseman, who has been on base 4 times tonight. He reached on a 4th, singled, tripled, and walked. He has scored once and driven in a run. Pitch to him. Over but low, ball 1. The on-deck hitter is Lee May. The Oriole bullpen continues to work between innings. 1-0 pitch, low again. Flanagan may be tiring. Weaver keeps a right-hander and a left-hander going. Tippy Martinez, the left-hander. The right-hander, Don Stanhouse. 2-0 pitch. Hit in the air to left field. Piniella cruises back. Sets up, waits, makes the catch. Throws in behind the runner at second base, Smith, and Smith ducks back to the bag. 2 down. Now Lee May, who is the designated hitter tonight. May has knocked in a run with a sacrifice fly. He has popped up, grounded out, and singled. Strong right-hand batter. Gossage offers, foul back, strike one. Now I believe we're going to get a runner down at first base for Singleton. Carlos Lopez will run for Singleton. The count is strike one on Lee May, and Lopez has just gone down to first base. The run for Singleton. On 1 pitch, down low. Now the 1-1 pitch. Inside, almost hit him. Carlos Lopez will probably stay in the ball game to play right field. He has a good, strong throwing arm. He takes his lead away from first. Billy Smith down at second. 2 outs and a 2-1 pitch. Check swing, strike call. 2-2. The set by Gossage, 2-2 pitch, fouled out of play, down toward the right field corner. Back in the stands. The Yankees and the Orioles play tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. Ron Guidry, a left-hander, will pitch for the Yankees. Dennis Martinez, a right-hander, will pitch for Baltimore. The 2-2 delivery. Low outside, ball 3, a full count, the runners will go. Smith will be off and running from second. Carlos Lopez from first. As Lee May faces a 3-2 count. Gossage turns it loose. It is foul back off the mask of the plate umpire Brinkman. Pretty good shot on the mask. The ball bounced high in the air back to the screen. Again, the runners go. The pitch is hit in the air to center field. Mickey Rivers comes in a few steps. He's waiting under it and makes the catch. No runs, 2 hits. The men are left at the end of 7.5. It's Baltimore 6 and New York 1.
This is Charlie Huddle, host of the All Night Show. We talk on the telephone, and you're invited.
I don't think I've listened so much in one night.
You making fun of me or something?
I think you could just read the telephone book and I'd listen to you. The voice is pleasant. It's a sexy voice.
That's exact kind of thinking that the communist dogs in China want to hear.
I think you're great.
You, Mr. Huddle, are a disgrace to the human race.
Yes, sweetheart.
Don't call people whiskey breath.
Radio was an old shirt, man, but I think I was a step in the right direction.
Don't even try to get on a mentality level, because you ain't got none.
Ready to go to sleep, and I started laughing. My husband threw me out of bed.
Hey, look, I'll talk to you when I'm sober. I talk to you when I'm sober. It's a drag.
Here, I have a cup of coffee, I'll call you back. What do you think of that?
11:30 till dawn, the all-night show on WOKO.
This is Robert Redford. The peregrine falcon, an incredible bird. It dives on its flying prey at up to 200 miles an hour. 30 years peregrines breeding in our lower 48 states. Today, there are barely 100. Wildlife needs you. To find out what you can do, write to the National Wildlife Federation, Washington, D.C., 20036. WOKO. Cares about you.
Carlos Lopez, who ran for Ken Singleton, stays in the ball game to play right field for Baltimore. Bucky Dent leads off for the Yankees. And Flanagan's pitch is popped up, first base side. Lee May backpedals, the second baseman comes over, and Billy Smith, the second baseman, makes the catch in the shallow right field grass. Grass? One out. Now the top of the batting order, and Willie Randolph. Breaking ball is low. The windup by Flanagan, the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball is low again. 2 balls and no strikes to Randolph. Willie is 0 for 3 tonight. Tried to bunt himself out in the first inning, was thrown out by the pitcher. Since then, he's flied out and grounded out to third. Checks his swing and takes a strike. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Strike 2 is called.
What was that, Sherlock?
I'm reading a book. 2-2 pitch. Foul back in the upper deck. Just reading a rule book just handed me by Mickey Morabito, where he has underlined when a hitter reaches first on catcher's interference, the catcher is charged with an error, but the batter is not charged with a time at bat. No. There's a number. Slowly at third base down to the mound. Flanagan has it, throws to first, and he's out in a close play. There's a break in the action with the score, Baltimore 6, the Yankees 1.
This is Mel Allen. When you have to send a package down to the minors, you don't have to use a minor league air freight company. That's because Emery doesn't just go to major league cities. They also go to minor league cities. Emery, the Air Force, and air freight.
There are 2 outs, nobody on. Mickey Rivers the batter, and the rule that Mickey Morabito handed me, we will read to you in just a second, right after a pitch to Mickey Rivers. Flanagan offers, Rivers takes a strike. If the batter or a runner continues to advance after he has been put out, he shall not, by that act alone, be considered as confusing, hindering, or impeding the fielders. Now, Earl Weaver is protesting this ball game on the fact that Chris Chambliss started down to first base after striking out with first base occupied and less than 2 outs. So that would seem to automatically overrule that protest, but I'm not going to argue rules with Earl Weaver. Foul comes back again. The count holds at strike 2. But very, very seldom in baseball is a protest upheld. 0-2 delivery. Line to left field. That'll be a base hit. A pitch high and away from him, and Mickey Rivers just reached out and flicked it into left. That'll bring up Thurman Munson. Mickey Rivers has now hit in 6 straight. Over that span, going 9 for 22. Thurman is 1 for 2. He takes a strike. Thurman was not charged with a time at bat in the 4th inning when he reached on catcher's interference. The catcher, Dempsey, was charged with an error. Thurman has bounced back to the pitcher and singled to left. Billy Martin very upset again about something, yelling from the Yankee dugout in the direction of Joe Brinkman, the plate umpire. Rizzuto's trying to get his ESP going. He's sometimes pretty good at reading Billy's mind.
Well, Munson thought the pitch was outside, and Billy's gotten on Brinkman for several calls tonight.
This one is inside. A ball and a strike on Thurman. 2 outs. Rivers at first. Murray is not holding Rivers on. He's playing behind Mickey, with the Orioles leading 6-1 here in the 8th. Flanagan's next pitch, swung on and missed, strike 2. This has not been one of Billy's happier nights. He has been upset with some calls by Joe Brinkman. He is upset with Earl Weaver, and he is upset most of all with the score. Now the 1-2 pitch. Foul back. If the Orioles continue and win the ball game and they're leading 6-1, I feel sure that Weaver will drop his protest.
Yes, it is automatically dropped if they win the game.
The count is 1-2 on Munson. 2 outs. Rivers at first. Flanagan's pitch down low, and the count evens 2-2. The set by the left-hander Flanagan. His pitch, swing and a miss on a high pitch. Strike 3. Munson strikes out to retire the side at the end of 8. It's Baltimore 6 and New York 1.
When it's 5 p.m. and I close up my clock shop here. That's it.
Right on time, my friend. But of course, any time is the right time for the smooth taste of Budweiser.
No time like present.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
These Baby Ruth fun-sized bars sure are delicious, and I ought to know.
Why is that?
Well, it just so happens I consider myself to be quite a candy bar connoisseur. And a Baby Ruth's got fudge and peanuts, chewy caramel, a rich chocolatey coating, terrific stuff. Plus, these new bags are mighty economical. Some people call them fun-size, but I call them Bill White-size, because they're just right for me.
I see.
I'm crazy about Baby Ruth bars, and it's not easy for something to get to first base with me. Get it, Frank? Oh, brother.
We'll go to the 9th inning with a new pitcher coming on for the Yankees. Right-hander Ken Clay becomes the 3rd Yankee pitcher in the ball game. Catfish Hunter pitched the first 4 1/3, and he is the pitcher of record, allowing 5 runs all earned on 6 hits. Cat walked 5 and struck out 2. Rich Gossage gave up 1 run and allowed 5 hits. Gossage walked, 1 man and struck out 2.
Frank, we got one final score here. I know you're going to give all the scores at the end of the game on your post-game show, but Cincinnati has defeated the Dodgers 8-2.
All right, Cincinnati 8, the Dodgers 2, a final score. Right here, the Orioles are leading the Yankees 6-1. You know, I had the pleasure of attending today the annual Con Edison brunch, which kicked off the 11th year of the Con Edison New York Yankee baseball program. In the first 10 years of this program, over 1,500,000 young people have attended Yankee games free of charge, courtesy of Con Ed. And this year, on 26 dates, we expect 75,000 young people to see the world champions play ball.
That's great.
It's always a pleasure to be with the Con Ed folks. Mr. Luce, who is chairman of the board, and Ellis Bullock, our good buddy, and Earl Batty was there, the answer man,
yes.
Former catcher. Clay pitches to Larry Harlow for a strike. Harlow lines this one out over Randolph's head. Willie started back, couldn't reach it, and Harlow is on with a leadoff single. And now 5 seconds for station identification. Now DeCinces will step in. DeCinces is 2 for 4 tonight, a single and a 2-run homer, a long drive off Rich Gossage. He was the first man Gossage faced when Rich came into the ball game in the fifth. And DeCinces took him downtown. Right-hand batter. Takes high from Clay, ball one. This is Clay's second appearance this year. Now, plate umpire Joe Brinkman goes out to say something to Kenny Clay. And he went to his mouth. That's what it is. Brinkman went out to tell him, and he calls ball two. 2 balls and no strikes. Clay has pitched 2 innings, allowing 2 hits, 1 run. He comes in low, and the count is 3 balls and no strikes. I've seen that automatic ball called a few times in this young season so far. 3-0 to Doug DeCinces. A runner at first, none out. Clay's next pitch, strike call. DeCinces took a step toward first. Called back by plate umpire Brinkman. Baltimore leads 6-1. We're in the 9th here at Yankee Stadium. Clay comes set. 3-1 pitch. Ball 4 is high. DeCinces walks, and the Orioles have runners at first and second. There's only been 1 inning in which the Orioles were set down in order. That was the 7th, when Gossage got DeCinces, Dempsey, and Belanger in order. In every other inning, they've had 1 or more base runners. In fact, they've had at least 2 base runners in every inning, except that 7th. Dempsey takes a strike. Right-hand hitting catcher is 1 for 4. Every Oriole has been on base. Every Oriole except Bumbry has at least 1 hit. Clay ready to work with 2 on. Nobody out. Breaking ball is low and away. Raleigh Eastwick is throwing in the Yankee bullpen. Play comes set. Right-hander's 1-1 pitch is butted foul by Dempsey. Dempsey squared around at the last instant, butted at it and fouled it back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The on-deck hitter is Mark Belanger. If you were not with us earlier in the game, we'll tell you again, Oriole manager Earl Weaver is playing this game under protest, despite a 6-1 lead. The 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 is called, and Dempsey now beats to the plate umpire Brinkman, and they go nose to nose. Dempsey is called out on strikes. 1 away. Mark Belanger steps in. Belanger has walked, grounded out, doubled, and lined out to right field. The right-hand hitter takes a strike. The Orioles lead 6-1. We're in the 9th. Runners at first and second, 1 away. The 1-strike pitch will be coming. Here it is. Fouled out of play on the first base side, back in the stands. The Yankees and the Orioles play tomorrow afternoon at 2, and following the ball game, the Yankees will be flying to Toronto, where they'll play Wednesday and Thursday afternoons at 4 o'clock New York time. Then back here Friday against Milwaukee for the weekend. The 0-2 pitch. Inside to Belanger, 1-2. Clay studies the sign, drops the hand. 1-2 offering. Fouled into the stands down beyond the first base dugout. This was a late starting ball game, a regional game on the ABC TV Game of the Week alignment. Plus, the fact that rain delayed it even further. Clay's 1-2 pitch. Fastball is low to Belanger, 2-2. Two pitch hit on the ground at first. Chambliss is up with it. Goes to the bag to retire Belanger, and the runners move up. Harlow goes to third. DeCinces to second. And now Al Bumbry, the left fielder, a left-hand batter. Two on, two gone. Bumbry takes low and in, ball one. Bumbry is the only Oriole without a hit. He has walked twice, grounded back to the pitcher, grounded out to second, and struck out. The 1-0 delivery. Hit on the ground at second base. Nice hop for Willie Randolph. His throw to first is in plenty of time. No runs, a hit, 2 left. At the end of 8.5, it's Baltimore 6 and New York 1.
Hi, I'm Joe Gallagher.
And I'm Brian Jackson.
We host the morning show on 1460 WOKO.
You know, Joe, I bet if we weren't on the radio, we could be baseball players, maybe even with the Yankees.
Great ball players, Brian.
Yeah, I wonder what that would be like. Well, Joe, here we are in the outfield, and it's up to us, obviously. It's the bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, and a tie score. Look at those chicks in the bleachers. What do you do with binoculars out here in the outfield? Will you put them down and watch the game? Oh, my goodness. It's a high fly ball. Now, calm. I got it.
I'll get it, Brian.
No, I'll get it. It's okay. Oops. Oh, it's your fault.
You dropped it.
No, you dropped it. Joe, it really doesn't matter. They're coming after us. We lost the game. Out of here. You know, Joe, maybe baseball isn't our game. Maybe we should just stay on WOKO and do the morning show.
No.
Hockey. Hockey? Yeah, I can see it now. Sudden death over time. The puck's hit. We're down the ice. We're skating to back.
David, why are we dancing in a financial organization?
I'm celebrating because I'm on direct deposit. Since my Social Security payments are deposited directly into my account, I don't have to wait in line or worry about my check being lost, stolen, or delayed in delivery.
Sounds like everybody receiving monthly government checks should be on direct deposit.
It's really easy, Sid. As easy as dancing on marble floors. This has been David Wayne
And Sid Shireen.
with a public service announcement from the U.S. Treasury Department and this station.
WOKO. How about you?
Reggie Jackson leads off the Yankee ninth. 1 for 3 in the game. He takes a strike. Reggie singled leading off the second inning, and he has scored the only Yankee run. Flanagan winds at his next pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Jackson has also grounded into a double play and flied to left. Lou Piniella is on deck, and then Chris Chambliss. Flanagan's 0-2 pitch. Curveball struck him out swinging. 6 strikeouts for the Oriole left-hander Flanagan. The batter will be Lou Piniella. Piniella is 2 for 3 tonight. The Yankees have 5 hits, and Piniella has 2 of them. Baltimore leads 6-1. Flanagan's pitch for Lou. Fouled in the upper deck on the first base side. Flanagan studies Dempsey's sign. Now the wind, the 0-1 delivery. Outside to Lou. The outfield bunches for Piniella. They give him a little room in both corners, more so in right field than in left. The infield plays him up the middle. The 1-1 pitch. Bounced right back to the pitcher, Flanagan. He's got it. Throws on to first base. Piniella is out 2 away. And now Chris Chambliss. Two outs, none on. Flanagan to Chambliss. Popped up. Shortstop side. Belanger is there, makes the catch, and the ball game is over. The Yankees are retired 1-2-3 in the bottom half of the night. Well, the Orioles ride the left arm of Mike Flanagan to a 6-1 win over the Yankees. The Birds with 6 runs, 12 hits, 1 error. The Yankees 1 run, 5 hits, and no errors. Mike Flanagan went all the way to pick up the win. His record is now 1-2 on the season. And Catfish Hunter, who started for the Yankees, is the loser, and Cat's record is no wins and 2 losses. The Orioles got a run in the first inning. Hunter, unusually wild tonight, walked a total of 5 men, gave up 6 hits. The walk in the first inning hurt him. Bumbry walked, came in to score. He walked the leadoff man in the second inning. That was Ken Singleton. He came in to score. And then the Orioles capped their scoring with 4 runs in the fifth on 4 base hits. The biggest blow was a home run by Doug DeCinces, and that was off Rich Goffage, who had relieved Hunter at that point. So the Orioles win the first game. The Yankees will have a chance to even things up tomorrow afternoon in a 2 o'clock ball game with Ron Guidry pitching. Our engineer for Yankee broadcast is Brian Ferguson. Assistant producer is Carol Lee Ashrow. And the executive producer is Arthur Adler. This is Frank Messer for the Scooter Phil Rizzuto. Our next broadcast will be tomorrow afternoon against the Baltimore Orioles.
This copyrighted recording is licensed by Major League Baseball. Any reproduction or other commercial use of this recording, in whole or in part, is prohibited.
Colonial Provisions, makers of Yankee Franks, AC Delco, Emery Air Freight, Wendy's Hot and Juicy Hamburgers, the Hose Tobacco Company, and Big Dime Submarine. Stay tuned now for the Yankee scoreboard and wrap-up shows.
The man. Oh, great master, I've traveled far to seek your wisdom. Speak to me. Close the door that's closed there. Yes, sir. I crave the meaning of life. How do you earn your bread, my son? Well, you till the soil? No. You tend sheep? I'm in advertising, sir. Advertising. Fascinating. Yes, sir, I'm in a big hurry. I have to be in Fiji tomorrow to shoot a television commercial. Fiji? Yeah, we found a place there that looks exactly like Columbus, Ohio. Why not go to Columbus, Ohio? Look, I'm the surface only. All right, let me check my wisdom books. Go with radio. What? Looks to me like a fantastic buy. Oh, important wisdom. This is important. Listen, newspaper cost per thousand is up 99% since 1967. TV is up 90%, but radio cost is only up 38%. 38%. And it says radio's audience is bigger than ever. But what about happiness? Use radio. It's great impact at a price you can still afford, and you'll be very happy. Okay. Yeah. And when you go out, close the door real tight, because it's the first thing you're going to hear. I'm Bill Perkins. To learn how radio can sell for you, call 449-1460 WOKO.
The Yankee Scoreboard Show is sponsored by Getty Gasoline. On the American League scoreboard, both division leaders won their ball games earlier today. The Detroit Tigers, who lead the Eastern Division, down the Chicago White Sox 10-9. The Tigers scored 4 runs in the bottom half of the 9th inning to win the ball game. Earlier, Rusty Staub had hit a grand slam homer, which highlighted a 4-run Tiger fifth. Detroit 10 runs, 16 hits, 2 errors. Chicago 9 runs, 12 hits, and 2 errors. John Hiller got the win, the third of 3 Tiger pitchers. Mark Fidrich started the ball game, was quite upset, we are told, when he was taken out after 4 innings by manager Ralph Houck and charged into Houck's office for a confrontation after the ball game. Hiller gets the win. Jim Willoughby was the loser. He was the 5th of 6 pitchers used by White Sox manager Bob Lemon. Meanwhile, Kansas City, which leads the Western Division, defeated Toronto 3-1. Kansas City 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors. Toronto 1 run, 3 hits, and 1 error. Larry Gura started and got the win. Al Raboski saved the ball game. Jesse Jefferson was the loser. Elsewhere in the American League, it was Boston 9 and Milwaukee 2. Butch Hobson homered for the Red Sox, who had 10 hits in the ball game. Mike Torres got the win. He is 2-0 on the year. Stein started and lost for Milwaukee. Oakland topped Minnesota 7-2. Pete Broberg the winner to even his record at 1-1. Paul Thormansgard was the loser. Home runs in the ball game, Gary Alexander and Jim Essien for the Oakland A's. Texas was shut out on a 2-hitter pitched by Cleveland's Rick Waite. The Indians 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors. The Rangers no runs, 2 hits, and 3 errors. The Rangers played the ball game under protest after Bert Campaneris was called out trying to steal third base in the first inning when Richie Zisk was charged with interference on the Cleveland catcher. The winning pitcher was Rick Waite, going all the way on the 2-hitter. John Matlack lost it. Ron Pruitt had a 3-1 homer for the Indians. And at the end of 3 innings out on the West Coast, it's California 5, Seattle nothing. Don Baylor and Brian Downing have homered in the ball game for California. Frank Tanana is pitching that ball game for the Angels, and I'll be back with the National League in a moment.
Recently, a survey was taken of the prices of premium gasoline. The survey covered hundreds of service stations in the northeastern United States. Virtually every major oil company was included. Right now, I'd like to tell you the results of that survey. In Portland, Maine, Getty Premium sold for less per gallon. In Boston, Getty Premium sold for less. In northern New Jersey, Philadelphia, and New York, Getty Premium sold for less. In fact, in every state surveyed, Getty Premium sold for less per gallon than most major premiums. More premium gas for your money. That has to be the best mileage ingredient you can buy. So the next time you pull in for gas, pull in for Getty Premium gasoline. Getty. Once again, we've got what's best for your car.
Vida Blue won his first game in the National League this afternoon as San Francisco upended Atlanta 5-1. Blue did not finish the ball game, but he got the win to even his record at 1-1. Tommy Boggs, the starter and loser for Atlanta. It was Philadelphia 6 and Pittsburgh 2. Greg Luzinski homered for the Phillies. Dave Parker homered for the Pittsburgh Pirates. The winning pitcher, Jim Lonborg, and the loser, John Candelaria. Cincinnati dumped L.A. 8-2 before a crowd of 40,527 at Dodger Stadium. Rick Monday had a home run in the ball game for the Dodgers. Bottom the winner all the way, 3-0. And Bert Hooton was the starter and loser for the Dodgers. Cincinnati pounded out 15 hits to win the game 8-2. The Mets and the Cardinals have survived a couple of rain delays in St. Louis. They're playing now in the 5th inning with the Mets leading the Cards 3-2. And here at Yankee Stadium, the final score, the Orioles 6, the Yankees 1. The story on this ball game on the wrap-up when I come back. The Yankee Scoreboard Show has been sponsored by Getty Gasoline.
And now the Yankee Wrap-Up Show on 1460 WOKO, sponsored by Magnavox.
Here at Yankee Stadium, Catfish Hunter made his second start of the season and was tagged with his second loss as the Baltimore Orioles defeated the Yankees by a score of 6-1. Cat was wild. He walked 5. He gave up 6 hits. He was charged with 5 of the 6 Oriole runs. I'll have a few more details on the ball game in just a moment.
1,700 intercontinental ballistic missiles. 1,000 submarine-launched ballistic missiles. 656 Polaris missiles. 1,500...
This game is called one-upmanship. It has been going on since the end of World War II.
Multiple warheads.
It's a dangerous and very expensive game. In 30 years, there's been no winner. And now, other players are getting into the game.
We have 4,000 atomic bombs. And we have nuclear bombs and guided missiles.
We also have
The game is out of control. No one can win. If the world is to reach the year 2000, we've got to get this message to the players now. Stop the arms race. For specific information, write to